Howdy. I hope that worked well. I hope you heard that. Because I just ran out of time today, as per usual, to prep the streaming to get things going. But it's good to see you here. Hello, everyone. Thanks for jumping on the chat straight away, dropping where you're watching from. We've got We've got Henry around London. We've got Jason from Ohio. We've got Rick from Utah. We've got Rob from Newcastle. Oh my gosh, so many people tuning in. Hello, hello. Can you hear me, first of all? Because I can't monitor my own sound. So, all right. Thank you, Henry. That is good to know that it worked well. I assume you can hear me as well. Got some changes today. Got some new setups. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for another time-lapse editing stream. Got some fun things planned. Got the hat reveal. This is the old hat that I'm wearing. The new hat arrived in the mail today after 8 days or 9 days of shipping. That is too long. That is too much shipping time. And everyone's like, it's COVID, it's COVID. I'm like, no, I don't think it's COVID. They've been dealing with this COVID shipping issue for a year now because, you know, the UK has really cocked that up. It's got to be Brexit. The delay has to be Brexit thing. I've been hearing some horror stories. Luckily, I didn't have to pay any extra. Thanks for letting me know that the audio and the video is working well. I'm excited. What are we doing today? Besides the hat reveal, not this one. I should probably not wear this one because it might be confusing. Plus I don't look that different anyway. We'll be editing some time lapses, reviewing some time lapses. We'll be reviewing the time lapse that Amelia ruined yesterday because it was too windy and I'd used the GoPro mount to mount it on the balcony. This is magnetic, so it's like it sticks pretty well. But then I also added this Peak Design tag to strap it into a loop. Or loop it into a strap. Attach it to a strap which is looped around the balcony is what I'm trying to say. And she thought it was gonna blow off the balcony, but it actually was attached, so she ruined my shot. But then she saw a nice sunset on the other side of the city and she changed the camera, so she ruined one shot potentially, but she also made a second shot. And the reason I wasn't there to shoot it myself is because I was out shooting some photos for a friend, which we might be working on today as well. I shot some hyperlapses as a surprise. Hey Caroline, hell yeah, Mario Kart. 3 stars all the way. So yeah, we might be doing some hyperlapse stabilizing today, hyperlapse editing, and some time-lapse editing. I want to go over my time-lapse presets and yeah, maybe talk about the books because I'm finished now with the Ultimate Time-Lapse Guide rewrite. Made a huge, massively larger book than what it was before, so that's very, very fun. Italy, hello, hello. Oh, so nice seeing all these familiar names as per usual. Lovely. Is it a beer stream, you ask? It's 2:08 here in London, and I got a beer here, but you gotta let me know if you reckon I should open that beer or not. It's also the largest can. Like, how big is this can? Compare that to my head. 500 mils, I reckon. It's bigger than usual. I don't know if they've upped it or if I bought the wrong can, or is it the right can? Who knows? We'll find out. Got some other special Belgian beer as well lined up for later, but I'm mostly trying to figure out if I should start drinking already at 2. Amelia's like on work calls and I'm like, is it too early? Yeah, I mean the San Miguel's are usually not 500 milliliters yet, so this is different, I guess. I don't know, doesn't really matter. Yeah, thanks for jumping in the chat. It's always nice to know who's around and where you're from. Helps the engagement on the video as well. I've been, before I went live today, I've been playing with setting up my OBS, and I've got all these shortcuts set up on my keyboard. And I just quickly want to test them to see if that works. So I'm going to loop you back to the lobby for 2 seconds. Oh no, it doesn't work. Oh, bummer. It must be once you start streaming, the hotkeys don't work for some reason. Anyways, we'll figure that out next time. I can still manually trigger stuff, but it's kind of annoying. Hey Sean, g'day. It's kind of annoying because, yeah, having those inputs is useful, but no worries, I can do that manually. I just got to switch between apps, which is annoying. So main camera, we've got the editing screen as per usual, and I've got my, oh, what's going on here? Weird. I've got my YouTube screen there as well. So we're in Lightroom now. Let's see, what was I going to start with? Okay, so today we had quite a lovely, lovely sunrise. I set up the camera the night before, and I, yes, just set it up to shoot an hour before the sunrise. up until an hour after. 1,000 photos, 10-second interval, aperture priority mode, and it looks great, I must say. This is the first frame. This is on the wide angle, so I shot that. Where is it? I'm an idiot. It's shooting outside, so I can't actually show you the gear. G'day, Pete. Pete. It's shooting outside right now, so I can't show you, but let's review this footage. I have been having some issues with setting up a camera. What is this pixelation? All right, that's better. With setting up a camera, going from indoors to outdoors on the balcony, and I've realized that with long lenses like this one, there is quite a lot of, material in here. And the reason these Canon lenses are white is actually so they reflect more sunlight, so they don't warp as much, because different materials like glass and different metal compounds and stuff, they behave different under different temperatures. So when you go from an indoors warm cozy environment to an outdoors almost 0 degrees environment, you actually get a change in how that material contracts. So I've noticed that if I don't focus right before I start shooting, that it goes way out of focus. I've got a sequence like that somewhere here. So last night I let this camera sit outside for a while and then refocused before I went to bed, and hopefully it's sharp. And I mean, it looks sharp. Sharp enough. How many pixels is this? It's at 200%. Okay, that makes sense. Also, a new update. I'm not sure how well it worked last time, but now, we have the... Oh, that's been reset. That's annoying. Let's put that back there. We've got the keycaster, so you can follow my keystrokes. Let me know if that's showing up properly. Let's go into Lightroom and I'll just press some buttons, G, D, G, whatever. Can you see that? Does that show up? Well, hey, Melbourne, tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. The reason we're streaming a bit earlier today is because, I like that 5 o'clock somewhere, is because, bloody hell, that's annoying, is because I wanted Australians to be able to join. I'm so bummed. I spent so much time setting up these shortcuts and then now I can't use them because Lightroom takes over the keypad or something. Bummer. Anyways, doesn't matter too much. What was I saying? Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I was going to reply. How was my week? Caroline, thanks for asking. My week was busy, fine, good, productive. Finished a lot of work, started making the Kindle versions of the passive income book and all that. I hope your week was good too. I hope everyone is good or well. How do you say that? Doesn't matter. Any whoosies. Let's go to Lightroom Classic and let's have a look at the sunrise, yeah? So first frame looks like that. And that was shot with the 1 second exposure, f4 wide open, and ISO 1000. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you. So it's the Lumix camera with the Canon wide lens, because I don't have a wide lens for the Lumix camera yet. I think that is coming soon from Lumix, and I use a little adapter in between to make that work, I guess. And then let's go and have a look at the last frame. And we did have some nice color, so I'm actually quite happy with that. This is the last frame. It went from a bit to pretty good. Let's see if we can scroll through it by just holding the button. Got some planes, some smoke, a couple of clouds. That is slightly problematic, that keycaster. Maybe I should put it back on the bottom. I guess I could put it in the bottom, in the middle, then it's not as annoying when it fills up the screen. So when you see a scene like this, if you've watched Henry, thank you. Oh, that's why the buttons should be working. That's so annoying. Yeah, let's go. Let's actually show you what we're doing today. Teething issues, yeah? We're only new to streams. Bloody hell. So this is the first frame. This is the first frame of the sunrise. This is also why chat is so important, so you can let me know when I'm screwing up. First frame, let's zoom back in. Lovely conditions. When I saw it on the camera, I realized this might be a really nice sunrise because we have a relatively clear horizon, some gaps, but nice clouds, pretty high clouds as well, and a little bit of low cloud, just like that. some airplane trails. And this is nice. Is it all looking clear? I love Henry's suggestion. You might want to go to Lightroom. I might indeed, thanks. So this is the frame I was talking about earlier. Lovely little pre-color glow, I guess, here. Still nice and blue and dark on the right. But yeah, this turned out to be a lovely little sunrise. As you can see, good color there on the higher clouds, and then below gets lit up later, and that's just perfect conditions. This is the first time in a while that I shot a wide angle of this, because I usually don't include this building in the middle here, because it kind of, it's not an eyesore, but it's just so big. Unless you're really wide, it's smaller, but then you don't have a zoomed in shot. So usually I shoot, let's try and put it on. Usually I shoot a shot kind of like that, with that framing. So that would have been really good if I framed it up like that. But I was like, you know what? Let's go wide this time. And the thing is, if the clouds were slightly different and the whole sky would have lit up, that would have been really cool. And we were close to that. It only kind of ended here on the side, that color. It didn't go further, as you can see. But lovely little sunrise. Nice little glow in that cleared patch there. And very interesting to see. Yeah, I was actually looking at a Stream Deck today, but then I was also looking at a A10 Mini by Blackmagic, because it's only a little bit more and you get so many more options. It's much more professional as well. But yeah, the Stream Deck, I was too late to order it for today, and I'm still kind of figuring it out. But yeah, that's definitely on the cards. Maybe if we get some donations in the chat, we can all fund that, and you can get a better experience from it. Anywho's, interesting to see that the sun is rising here now, whereas a couple of weeks ago only it was rising around here. Around this spot. The seasons are changing. Eventually, I'm pretty sure, because we only moved in, 4 months ago. I don't know how far away the sun's gonna go. Like, it goes way higher and wider when it rises and sets. So, we'll see how that affects the shots. Did you get that all red fire sky last week? Michael, welcome to the stream, and thanks for reminding me on the shot that I missed out on. The camera was set up for an amazing sunrise. I'd seen it, I saw on Instagram afterwards how good it was, and sadly my camera malfunctioned. I think because of the cold, it was freezing. It must have done something to the S1. Sad, because it was plugged in and ready to go, and it was framed up properly and everything. But yeah, we missed out. So, you can't get them all. Lesson learned. It's good to know that sometimes the camera kind of wigs out in those things. Anyways, we still have a couple of the nice shots. But yeah, it was a ridiculous sunrise, really. But this isn't too bad. Huh. Hold up. Yeah, wait. Oh, cool. Okay. So this plane that comes through, this is hey Jennifer, I think this is my favorite bit of doing these streams, is literally live reviewing shots. Like this plane trail here. As you can see, it's very clear, and as you can see there's this shadow line, so it's actually flying between these two cloud decks. There's this lower cloud deck here, which is it's kind of medium altitude for me, and this trail, with the sun being so low, it actually shoots a shadow on the bottom of the cloud layer above it. So that's this like slightly darker line here and here that's coming from that plane trail. How freaking cool is that? Wait, what was that? Weird skips and jumps in there. But yeah, that is some fantastic movement. Got some more plane trails there. I'm noticing more planes in the sky again. Not like it was at the start, obviously, but it's definitely ramping up again. Hey, Richie, good to see you, mate. Welcome to the SAD team. Hell yeah. So we're just, if you're just joining now, we're reviewing the footage from this morning sunrise, which I shot as a raw, I think raw and JPEG. It was still set to that. But we also, Montreal, hey Bernard, early morning, grab a coffee, join the stream. I might have a beer in a bit. And I actually rendered the shot in camera already, so that I could show it on stream without having to render it beforehand, because I just ran out of time today, as per usual. So let's play that, see what the camera's made. It's got these black bars on the edge because when I'm shooting time lapses, I still use the full res, but then you render it with bars on the side. And this is only an HD render, I think, so it's not 4K. Yeah, it's limited to 1920 by 1080. But as you'll see, lovely performance from the S1. Nice ice cream. Good little sunrise here. This would have been a good inclusion in the video I made about how to predict sunrises or sunsets, because it's got all the elements. Bit of lower cloud, bit mid, high cloud, and yeah, just lovely color. I think if I grade, ooh, I didn't notice that huge glow up here before. Very cool, and there might have been other glow as well here on the right. You can see there's more color. But yeah, lovely sunrise. I love this like vibrant glow. Let's try and edit this with some of my presets later that are live, but I haven't announced yet because I'm still waiting to record a walkthrough of how to use color grading. It's kind of a bonus you get with that as well, and how to use the presets. But yeah, lovely, lovely sunrise. Let's just color grade it real quick. Let's make a, let's put that in a folder, this whole sequence. We won't select that. Create folder inside, I'm pretty sure. Now this is the benefit for these stream buttons not working, because I'm so used to hitting the number buttons, and they're set to trigger camera setups and stuff now. But now I can still use them here. What date are we? 19. Can wharf. Oh, that's a night to day, wide, raw. Boom. Venkatesh, how are you, mate? Thanks for tuning in. No worries if you missed the start. I mean, yes worries if you missed the start. You missed the nice little opening video. I'm playing with the stream. We're changing the intro and the openings and stuff. But you can watch the replay, obviously, later on if you wanna check that thing. And I think from now on we'll have a 5-minute warm-up loop. You know, the lobby thing playing, and then we'll play the intro bit, and then we start the stream like we did today. Henry, thanks for not going out to shoot, because if you went out then my shot would have been crap because you ruined conditions. Kidding. I'm not sure why this is going so slow. The drive isn't full. I can see here 0.3 terabytes still available. Maybe it's because my computer's really busy. Thanks for asking, Martin. My back is slightly better today. I've been slowly getting back into stretching. I went on a bike, like a short bike ride yesterday and a bit of a walk. I'm not there yet, but I'm hopeful that it's slowly getting better. I'm noticing small improvements, and on Monday I've got an appointment with the 6th physio, if I'm not mistaken. Bit of an ordeal. But yeah, I am confused why this transfer is going so slow. It might just be, I mean, it shouldn't really be, like, I've got 64 gigs of RAM in this setup. Should be alright. So I am not going to spend much time color grading this. The way I do a grade, or would do a grade here, is from scratch. So pretty much I've set up sort of actions, like step-by-step edits that you can apply, and then color presets. That's Alan Wallace's kit. This is my setup here, the time-lapse presets. So whatever these steps do, you can do on the right as well, but this is a nice little step-by-step thing with context that you can just apply and then tweak later on as well. But the main thing that is exciting here is to change the treatment or the profile that is usually Adobe color, which changes things. But with this, you click that and it changes it to whichever camera you have to the landscape mode. So it induces less flickering in theory, and I've tested it and it seems to work, but I can't guarantee it yet. So I need to do more testing, and that's why it's nice to do this live as well. So just to show that difference again, if you use the Adobe colors, this is what it looks like. And then you change it to the camera's built-in landscape profile, which makes it a bit more punchy and vibrant and saturated. It changes to that. Exposure setting is manual. I like this exposure. White balance. I've got some presets here. Night cool, night normal. I'm going night cool. No, let's go night normal. Contrast, we've got flat, low, medium, strong. I'm just going to go low. Emphasize the colors, adds a bit of vibrance and saturation to it. Sharpen and denoise, just sharpens and denoises, what a surprise. And then lens corrections is pretty good little setup there. Add that. And then we have the looks, and they're based on the color spectrum of a sunrise or a sunset. So you have quite a neutral one that kind of adds a little bit. There's 5 presets and 2 levels each. So the first one I think is a neutral look, and then the second one has different color edits applied. Then there's gold, pink, blue, and purple or something. I forget, but yeah. They all have slightly different looks, but they all kind of work across the spectrum for nighttime, daytime, or golden hour shots. And let's just go with... that kind of looks nice. Yeah, cool. Now, how am I gonna grade this? I copy and paste all these settings, copy that, and let's just go to the end and apply that here, but we'll just change the white balance to, oh, my computer's struggling, day cloudy, and up the brightness a bit. I'm gonna drop these highlights just a tad, and maybe a little bit warmer. Also, I should note, I'm color grading this on a shit monitor. This is not color accurate at all. So this might be looking good there. I'm actually on the YouTube, that's extra compression stuff. Not ideal. Maybe more on the sunny side. Yeah, look, let's give that a go. And now what you can do with this free preset, or plugin actually, depends on which one you want to use. There's 2 ways you can do it. One's free, one's paid. With, the Fade Develop preset by Jeffrey Friedel, which is donationware. I talk about that in my book. We'll talk about the book later as well. Yeah, camera profiles are good and often overlooked, I find, in a lot of settings. What is going on with Lightroom today? This should be instant. Maybe we won't be editing this sequence. Let's try the other plugin. Blend settings between keyframes. Interesting. What is going on here? Let's eject that SD. Maybe that's slowing things down. Again, this process here at the top should be near instant. So not sure what's going on. Oh yeah, I brought my laptop in as well. I don't know if you followed that on the stories. Apparently it was full of dust, which is why it was blowing so much. Hello, Renaldas Ruskis. Sorry, I got light shining, it's hard to see the names. Yeah, I brought the laptop in. My warranty's over in like a month and a half, or somewhere end of March. So I was like, if it needs a battery replacement or whatever, it's good to, it's hot, it's good to do that now. But yeah, they just clean out the dust, and there was quite a bit of dust in there apparently. But now, not sure why it's so slow. 71 degrees, man, that's low. This puppy goes way up. Sometimes I hit like 85 degrees. But yeah, fans are high, and if you go into the battery, you can see what's using most, and it's Adobe Lightroom Classic. Interesting. Sam, yeah, we chat every now and then, but we're living our own lives mostly. We'll reunite eventually. He's killing it over in New York. My friend Sam Yeldon from Sydney loves the old landscape photography, but then he moved to America and moved to New York, and he was totally uninspired, so he stopped shooting, which is an interesting thing, to feel so uninspired by a city like New York that you just can't be bothered shooting it. Peter, by the way, welcome back. Good to have you here. I've been messing around with OBS, got some stream shortcuts that aren't active now, sadly, because Lightroom takes over control of those buttons, which I'll just have to get an external controller for that. So next week we'll have a little Elgato Stream Deck ready or something. Actually bought an Elgato Stream Deck for my brother. All right, here we go. That took long enough. So this plugin, Timelapse Plus Studio does a few things, but the way I use it most is to organize time-lapse footage and also ramp settings across the sequence. So you blend from the first frame to the second one at the end, and you can add frames in the middle as well. This isn't looking like a great time-lapse editing stream if my computer is going to be this slow. Might have to start Lightroom or something, I don't know what's going on with it. But the reason I haven't committed to the Stream Deck yet is because Blackmagic has these ATEM Mini controllers, which gives you much more functionality than just the Stream Deck, and is only like £100 more. Should I open this beer or not? Chat, let me know. What are your thoughts? I know what you're going to say, but I want to hear you say it anyway. Wow, this isn't even budging. What's the activity monitor showing? See if we've got anything problematic. Lightroom Classic taking up a lot as per usual. I might just restart that. I mean, memory, barely touched it. Look at that, physical memory, 64 gigabytes in a laptop. What year is it? That's incredible. Incredibly expensive, thanks Apple. You bastards. Okay, interpolating keyframes done. And it's applied the edits to all the photos, but it takes a while to show that. Now let's go to where the sun is out and see how that's affected the colors. We'll hit D and Y to show you the before and after if it ever loads. And you kind of see, yeah, the white balance there isn't correct yet. So I should set another keyframe where that ramps it a bit more. But, oh yeah, I also have this split view. Where do you change that view again? Before, after, split screen? That's the one. Yeah, so with technically more than one click of a button, but you know what I mean when I say one click of a button, that preset was applied and made that sunrise look just a little bit more spectacular. I've also got some local adjustment tools to change the foreground separately using like gradients and stuff, but I'll make a whole separate video about that. I'm not doing the stream to peddle my my presets. I'm making the stream to peddle my new hat, which we'll get to in a second. So yeah, this sunrise was nice. Now let's chat about yesterday's sunset. My last name is not Deutsch, it's Flemish. I'm a Fleming. Ik ben, oh my god, it's Flemish Friday again and I forgot. Ik ben van Antwerpen. You know what time it is? It is ASMR beer time. Remind me for next stream to have a effect to add so that we can get a little ASMR experience. Hold on, let me, where is, boom. Healthy. There's a lot of water in that, and water is good for you, so. Lightroom's having a normal one here, by the way. I don't know if you can see how cooked that looks. I'm gonna restart Lightroom. I don't know why it's being so shitty. Skip this time. It is indeed 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's gonna be 5 o'clock here soon enough, so that's all fine and dandy, isn't it? Adobe Lightroom Classic. Where is my activity monitor? See how that affects it. Chat, are you Mac or PC? What kind of rigs are we working with here? I know some of you have some mean gaming rigs or editing rigs. I'm on this laptop because obviously I do a lot of travel. Not anymore. Got him. Career gone. Nah, not career gone, but haven't done any traveling in a while. And why isn't this working? This keycaster, these buttons keep resetting to the wrong spot. Bloody hell. I feel like my computer's just really, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I got this top of the line laptop because I need it for my travel work to edit on the road and do all this stuff. And then obviously the penny D hit, as we would say back in Oz. Alright, so we got some both. We got a gaming laptop, a Mac, we got a PC in the office, MacBook on the go. That's nice. PC 100%. MacBook Air. I would like a MacBook Air just to be on the couch doing whatever it is that you do on a couch, really. PC and MacBook, a lot of mixed. That's interesting. That's like me. I've got like MacBook and stuff, but then I'm on an Android phone. Hopefully getting the S21 soon. My S20 is getting a bit glitchy. Alright, done with that sunrise. That was nice. I'll set up another one tomorrow because it's looking like, yeah, it's looking cloudy, but if we get those kind of conditions, then that's good. The switch to PC was worth it. Hello Dubai, welcome. DXB in the house. PCs, yeah, I mean, I watch Linus Tech Tips every day. Love their channel, and it just gets me so jazzed to get a PC. But the truth is, I use Final Cut so much, and I'm so good at it. Despite also being really skilled at Premiere Pro, I'm just much more efficient in Final Cut, and that only runs on Mac. So, with the whole travel and this and that, you know, we got that. Here is, I think this is a video shot of me setting up the new SERP Genie 1 that we unboxed on stream last week. I'm a proper streamer now. I can say that. Very cool. And I shot some BTS of me setting up the rail with the Genie 1. Still had to figure out some other setups, but the gist of it is that I really like the modular system, and the rope. Initially, I wasn't a huge fan of how that rope setup works, but I'm a huge fan now. So shooting a sunset, we can look at this sunset as well that I shot on this camera, and I was just playing around with the slider for the first time. The funny thing, well, it's not funny really, the memory card that was in this camera died from this sequence on, so it shot, I think I posted on my stories, instead of shooting 500 or 600 photos, it shot 50. The only thing that I've got out of this whole shot, and it was a nice sunset as well, sadly, is this BTS clip, which I'll be able to use in, you know, the video where I talk about it, and I also have this time lapse. So that's kind of useful, I guess. I'm glad I set that up. But yeah, the actual shot of this totally failed. There's no shot. But yeah, pretty smooth little slider, pretty easy to use, affordable. This is, you know, £3.99 or $4.50 USD, I think. And I like it. Here you see, this is the plant that I've been time-lapsing. I posted that teaser. We'll be doing that as well. Let me do that, put that on my list before I forget. Yes, I have a little list of subjects. And I forgot to cheers you all. Cheers. Here's to you. Here's to the real ones. Vlam zo vrijdag bed. Hackintosh, always thought about it, but never really went into it because of stability issues, I assume. I don't know. I don't know if it's easy to do a Hackintosh setup these days. Does anyone have a Hackintosh in here? S9 Plus, great phone. As you can see, it started raining. What a surprise. Rain in the UK? And because this is the first time I used it, and yeah, I actually got much more wet than I thought. I decided to break it all down and kill the shot early, which is not something I usually do, but I don't know if this is weather sealed or not. It looks pretty alright. Maybe on the side here. But hey, we have blue tack for that in it. Oops. GoPro might be talking about the 10-day, 1 hour long time-lapse video, by the way. And thanks for all the love on that. That was so fun, A, to review all that footage on stream, B, to then just dump that footage on my channel and have it be the best performing video out of my last 10 videos, which is wild. And that's definitely something I want to do more. My friend, who was it? Sean, I think? Furry Little Peach on Instagram. She was like, hey Matt, have you ever thought about making like a hugely long looping time-lapse video, like lo-fi chill beats to work to, but then have time-lapse footage sitting there. So funny she said that, because that was exactly the point of that GoPro video, to have long content with long watch time that people can play as like instead of a fireplace, you can play a cool time-lapse. So I'm doing more of that. I'm thinking of permanently setting a GoPro up for that. Maybe I'll ask GoPro for another Hero 9. I don't know. I've got a 9, an 8, and a 7, but I'm giving the 7 to a mate of mine as a surprise. He's building out a whole warehouse in his backyard, and he's time-lapsing on a GoPro 4, I think, and he's having some issues with it. So I'm gonna gift him my old 7, which is nice. Sean, thanks for that view time. Very nice. So yeah, this clip, I mean, what is there to say? It looks alright. Some interesting white balance changes by the GoPro, I must say that. Like there, it switches. And yeah, just out of frame here on the right with this plant is a little time lapse that Amelia also ruined. That's a story for another day. Oh, here's another BTS clip of it being a panning setup. So you take out the bottom mount and then you put it on the slider. So yeah, I've been I'm making a video about this obviously, so I've been getting some BTS clips. Now let's go and check out. Let's see, that is after. Okay, this is the shot I'd set up because I was out shooting yesterday. On the GoPro, same as last time, night lapse, 10-second interval, video mode, but I changed some settings because I thought the footage was a bit sharp, like a bit over sharpened. And I know that when GoPro gets their people to shoot for their campaigns and stuff, they ask them to shoot on the lowest sharpness setting, which I did yesterday, and I also changed the aspect ratio, so this is now, instead of being 4:3 format, this is now 16:9, so classic widescreen, and the resolution is 3840 by 2160 in H.264. I thought it was H.265. Anyways, doesn't matter, but it looks just a tad soft. So I don't know. We'll throw it in Final Cut in a second, and see if we can make it look better. But yeah, the reason I changed all these settings, also the max ISO, I changed it to 100, so we'll get longer exposure times and less noise because the footage got really noisy. So we'll do a new 10-day one, and because the majority of people's screens these days aren't 4:3, we'll be doing it 16:9. So yes, I'll lose some information, but at least I'll have a nice full res stuff without having to blow it up even more and make it look bad. So this is the sunset I set up. I was around, let's have a quick look. I was, which building is it? Okay, I was right here with Pete, who's in the chat, I believe, as well. Pete, say hello. Peter Jobson, Street Photos. We were around this here building, which is the Center Point Tower, which is funny because Center Point Tower in Sydney is also a thing. The formerly tallest building. And this is the BBC Tower, which is 5 kilometers away. So yeah, about 5Ks. I biked there. And the sky looked nice. Like, look at these clouds. They're a time-lapser's dream. They're my favorite clouds to shoot. I was like, let's run the GoPro. So I plugged it back in, set it up for the sunset. It was super windy that day, and eventually Amelia got a fright, and she pulled the GoPro off the balcony right around here. And she texted me, like, oh my God, it's so windy. I'm afraid the GoPro's going to fall off. I'm going to take it because it's not tied in. And then she didn't notice this little latch thing that's hooked on that strap. So she's like, oh shit. She messages me, I just ruined your time lapse. And I'm like, no, how dare you? But bloody love her. She saw this cloud, this structure, this system, and look at all that rain that's getting dumped out and all that moisture. Far out. I actually haven't seen this shot myself yet. We're doing another live review right now. So this system moved, and that was pretty much the rest of the cloud. There wasn't too much interesting stuff afterwards. So we got a boring sunset here. So she went and turned the camera around to the more interesting part, because this is a boring sunset here, this part. There's no cloud, there's no movement, there's nothing fun. So she turns the camera around eventually, and you'll see this whole structure get lit up from the backside right around sunset around now. Look at that, anvil-shaped weather system with that light. Oh, that's so cute. The light hitting it from the side. If I was home, I would have punched in with a long lens on that. Would have looked fantastic. What you see here on the left is our window that would have been opened. because Amelia was shooting a little photo for me. She was like, "Babe, look." I was so sad I wasn't shooting it. But yeah, that's Amelia next to her desk in the kitchen pretty much. So yeah, nice sunset. Nice performance, some fun cranes here. And pretty solid performance as far as exposure and white balance changes go. And we can already see, because I limited the max ISO to 100, the exposure times are longer. Because that would be, let's think, how long would that be? 4 seconds? No, longer. 8 seconds? We'll find out eventually. But yeah, this looks alright. This looks pretty good. But because the softness or the sharpness was set to soft or non-existent, it's not as sharp as I wanted. So next time I'll shoot on medium and we'll use the same settings. So time-lapse video, 10-second interval, night lapse with sharpness to medium and ISO max sets to 100. And then I think we've dialed in the settings, and then I can make another big video, and then I can make a video like what's the best settings to shoot on your GoPro for time-lapse, keeping, you know, quality and stuff in mind. So yeah, pretty good shot. Happy Amelia ruined it to then turn it around so I can see that structure in from the other side, which was fun. Hold on, I missed that frame earlier. I think she would have pulled it off the railing, and then it slipped out of her hand and fell down and took a photo. Too funny. Then afterwards, I spotted the moon, and I decided to set up another GoPro shot. So this is a long shot, same settings as before. So as we can see, much cleaner than the other clip. Let's go and review that real quick. GoPro long, I think it was. Any nighttime shot. If we scale that to the same size, I can't zoom in. But yeah, very noisy on the other shots, because max ISO was set to 800 or 1000 or something, and this should only be ISO 100, which might have an effect on how it ramps exposures as well. Anyways, this is a pretty long clip. See some nice light trails here on the street. GoPro, man, well done. Pretty stoked. But yeah, I spotted the moon yesterday, and the moon's slowly setting, and there it is, bit of flare. And I thought, let's just shoot a time lapse on the GoPro, because now every time lapse I shoot, I can just put that in that super long compilation. Hold on, what was that? Satellite or, hold on, let's think. 10 seconds. Also, Michael, if you're still watching, you'll be interested in this. There seems to be almost no gap between exposures. Usually when you shoot a time-lapse, you have, say, a 4-second exposure, and then there's a little gap, and then the next photo begins. So if there's a continuous trail in your shot, there's going to be a gap in that trail as well. But if we zoom in here, and we put our framing at the start or the end of that trail, and the previous trail, yeah, there's only a small gap. So it takes a little break between shooting photos, which is pretty cool. Anywho, let's run that shot. Oh, that's weird about the live chat. Anyone else having chat issues? Whoa. Fucking neighbors. They love fireworks around here. How's that? How's that for another lovely time-lapse live review surprise? We almost got a fireworks moon crossing shot. That is so funny. And again, a good example of the, okay, so there's a bigger time delay between photos than I thought. This is much closer. This was shot from this backyard here. So funny. I should have run this when we had bonfire night. It was for 10 days straight, constant fireworks, daytime, nighttime. They love fireworks around here. I don't know why that is. But yeah, how cool is that? Little Little fireworks show. Can we combine that in a shot? Yeah, we can combine that in a shot. I am drinking a San Miguel Especial. 500ml can. Usually they're a bit smaller. Cheers. So, you know, another fun time-lapse surprise. It's not like treasure hunting or anything, but reviewing time-lapse footage and seeing the glow around the moon, the little halo, it's just so addictive. We've got Orion coming back into frame here. Look at that little colorful halo around the moon. Let's go back to that. I can do this for the rest of my life. Just shoot the same shot, but see what's going on. See the cloud movements. Look at how light refracts in ice crystals in the sky, creating these cool halos. Yeah, I've had heaps of Czech beer. Almost bought a Starop ramen earlier, but my cart was full, or my little basket. So, Orion here, popping into frame. And yeah, the moon's setting. What we can do, I'll add it to the list, maybe like make a composite, because that's part of the new ebook as well, is that tutorial on how to, ooh, that's nice. How to make a composite. You can actually, because the moon's quite blown out here because it's so bright, but when it gets dimmer because of all the atmosphere and the clouds, it gets kind of filtered out. So we see that nice little crescent shape there. Beautiful. In about 8 months, I'll be able to make a time-lapse video showing how far moon and sun and other sky objects move around the seasons. Because the moon's sitting there now, but a while ago it would have set here. So it's already moving quite rapidly. And that's the moon set. And I didn't turn the camera off. I think I let it run until earlier today. So let's just see what happens. Let's keep it going. It's a random. Is that a? There's this line here. This trail. Where does that come from? Odd. Some nice high altitude clouds getting lit up by light pollution, which is not so nice. Alan Wallace, who I'm sure you're familiar with, and if you're not, you really should be. Will Spade. Oh, look at this heli. How fun. Oh, shit. He's got a great TEDx talk, or TED talk. TEDx talk? I don't know. About light pollution. All right, we'll make a little comp of that. Heli trail, because that'll look fun. We can do that live later when we run out of other things to do. But yeah, what was that heli doing? This is like middle of the night or early morning. I assume that's a video shoot or film shoot or something. Also, I saw a video by one of my... Hey, Betty, welcome. Hey, Berlin Lapse. You just woke up from a nap. Mate, why are you napping in the middle of the day? No, I'm kidding. I love naps. Haven't taken a nap in a while. Once again, some fantastic structures in the sky. The reason I'm streaming earlier today, because, and I'm blessed to have a global audience, but it's hard to fit everyone in. I've had Francesco from Italy ask me if I can stream at 5 because that's when he clocks out of work. But then I won't have any of my Australian friends be able to join. So yeah, I don't know the solution to this. It would be nice to have a fixed streaming hour, but then there's always going to be people missing out. But what I want to talk about now are these clouds and their little lines. Like how, please tell me how that works. How do those ripples exist? Like how, I guess. Is it wind? Must be wind. Gravitational waves or whatever? Is that a thing? Does that affect clouds? I don't know. I've seen undulus asperatus clouds before. I don't know if that's the right wording. Asperatus clouds, they look like waves, yeah. Imagine that. I've seen them and I've shot them, but they weren't as intense, but they can look like these rolling waves. And Oof. I really want to time-lapse those. That is mental. That looks like a render. Anywho's. Berlin Lapse, welcome to the chat. Yeah, exactly, Jennifer. So it's like, it's fluid dynamics, right? Water's a fluid, air is a fluid, but just different density, I guess. So it all kind of acts. Is it air pressure that kind of makes it jiggle up and down there? I don't know. Also, so I've got an S5 on the way, or like I'm working with Lumix on some new content, and they're paying me in gear, which is lovely. So I'll have the S1 or the S5, depends on what I'm going to do. We got sunrise coming up now. I'll have we'll do a 10-day or longer time lapse shooting just like the GoPro, but then we'll have higher resolution, and I'll be shooting JPEGs. Oh, camera's gone. Battery swap. Do not fear. I will be right here. At what point do I buy either another camera to stream with or an AC adapter for the 1DX? Because I do really enjoy the 1DX. Alright, that should pop back up. There we go. We're nailing that time. It's like a pit stop. Getting better and better at swapping batteries. Ken, hello. You're saying it's gravity that causes ripples when wind blows one cloud over another? I don't know. Scott, only downside of the earlier time is I can't justify cracking a beer at 9. I'm happy to justify it for you, mate. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you can buy an AC adapter for the 1DX, but it's like £200. So unless we get some donations going, I don't think that's happening. No pressure. Anyways, sunrise time. White balance changes, exposure changes. Pretty good. So much traffic on this little road. Don't know why, it's always people there. Ooh, some exposure pumping there. Lovely clouds. Nice little weather. Ooh! Ooh! I need to shoot with a long lens on this building tomorrow morning and just have it going from being lit up itself to becoming overpowered by the other side of the landscape where the light of the sunrise is reflecting and clouds are reflecting as well. And then the sun hits it. Bang. Wow, look at that color change hitting it. Golden hour. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Lovely. Alright, so Ken Googled what those ripples are, and it is gravity that causes it. The ripples. I always thought that, but I was like, how? That's crazy. I need to look into that more. That's really cool. Thanks for looking that up and letting us know. Also, I think I spoke about this a couple streams ago. Every day I take a photo with this camera, same shot. So I've been time-lapsing with a photo a day. This building being built here, and this building being built here, and another one to the left. But they're still installing these antennas here. I think they're installing 5G antennas to keep us safe from COVID. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. Adapter £339 for a 1DX. And then you're like, let's just buy an aftermarket one. And then no, because the 1DX is so niche that people that will buy that adapter will just shell out for the full price as opposed to getting a cheaper one that doesn't exist. So no one's making those cheaper ones, sadly. Oh well. This is the next clip. So the GoPro kind of kept shooting. See these cranes moving here? They're building the next platform. And yeah, here's the working people working away on those antennas. This is a new building here as well. Oh, speaking of new buildings, we found out today that our building is covered in the same style cladding as the Grenfell Towers. And they're going to obviously replace all that. But our lovely little apartment might become very loud and very constructy. And they're going to tear out the little balcony wooden floors as well, apparently. I don't know. I read an article about it. I'm still so happy to be here, obviously, but yeah, it's kind of like I knew there was a catch. Can't be, Can't be that good. Convenient how none of the real estate agents mention that. So they're replacing the cladding because it's highly flammable, really problematic. And a couple of years, I think 3 years ago, a building in Grenfell, I think the area is called, or maybe it was the Grenfell Tower, went up in flames and I don't know, like 100 people died, or it's horrible. It was a horrible disaster, and they really haven't done much to combat that problem up until now. Total government failure, not a surprise, but yeah, horrible tragedy. And apparently we have the same style cladding on this building, which is unexpected because it's a new build from 2012, and you would think there would be more on top of things, but yeah. It's not only flammable, but it turns into a flaming liquid and drips down the sides, and like even if at the top floor, only the top floor lights up, it'll go up in seconds. It's really messed up. 1 photo a day, Jose. Yes, 1 photo a day, because I wanted to see what it would be like 1 photo a day. I could do 2 photos a day, but it's nice to do that. First thing I do in the morning is I wake up, walk in the office, grab the camera, boom, 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 set the camera down, don't have to think about it. And it's a long-term thing. Like, that building is only going up with the elevator shaft now, and then they're adding floors. It's gone up 1 floor since I started shooting a few weeks ago. So 1 photo a day should be long enough, or like enough photos in the end to show some interesting growth. I've never done a time lapse like that. I've never been in a position where I can do that. So that's the explanation of that. Yeah, Henry, I can't imagine what that was like. Sorry that you had to go through that. Horrendous government failure, really. Let's look at some more clips. I don't know what this is. Is this... How is that in this? Oh, okay. I was like, why is this a shot? I don't think I've reviewed this at all. I'm also very confused as to what this shot is, unless... So there's a quirk with the Lumixes. They, look at that, how pretty. And that light hitting it here as well. The Lumixes make a new folder in camera per 1,000 photos, which is why here there's 1,000, which is very annoying because many of my time lapses, I would say most of my time lapses these days go well over 1,000. So instead of going through these folders, let's just run, unless the plugin's really low. These kind of clouds remind me of the Asperatus clouds, but we'll have a look at that. These 3 folders, there's 15, 16,000 images in there. 14, 15, I can't count. This plugin scans folders and then automatically recognizes sequences, which I write about in my book as well. How am I going to adjust for background fluctuations in the construction time-lapse? They're part of the scene, and it's, even if it looks horrible, that's a great subject to talk about, because I get the question about long-term time-lapse a lot, like how to, and I'm like, I don't know. Talk to the Photo Sentinel guys, which is an Australian company, and they specialize in it. But yeah, it's part of the scene, I guess, and it does change, because I've shot it in fog as well, where the building's not even visible. But I think it'll be fun to just be able to go through day by day, or like week by week, or month by month, and show you how much it's changed, which would be pretty fun. But yeah, that's the downside of long term, and it's not part of my ebook because I have no experience with it. So why would I give people advice on it, really? But I know LR Timelapse has a new long term editing module, and Photo Sentinel has some tricks for that as well. But yeah, it's tricky because, as you know, that's why you asked. I assume the environment changes so much day to day that it can be hard to make that into a smooth time lapse. And as we saw last stream, if you speed it up too much, it just becomes erratic and ugly as opposed to smooth and cinematic. If your interval is too long, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. All right, plugin's done, and it's recognized a few sequences that we'll just go through because I don't think I've shown these yet. Oh yeah, this is another sunrise. Okay, that'll be a good story. A failure. A failure on my end. Well, not really my fault, but I think we've talked about that one. see. Are we showing this one? I really like the I love that rain or whatever was coming out of these clouds. Oh, look at that. That here and then that motion behind it, those very distant clouds being lower, bubbling up below that rain is very cool. You don't see that a lot. And then these little clouds getting generated here from, I don't know, heat from the city or something, or air that moves up because of the city buildings. Very cool. Looks like some distant lenticular clouds almost there. Right, I'm going to put that here, see what happens if I... Maybe it's Keycaster that's slowing down my computer. No, I can't see it at all. I've ruined it. Ah, doesn't matter. I'm not doing too much editing. I'm going to quit Keycaster just in case. Rico, hello. Guten Tag, mein Herr. I don't know if you say it like that, but g'day. Global squad, I love it. People from all over the world. Lovely turbulent clouds, couple of rays. I set up this shot because I was suspecting these rays to appear, just because of the amount of clouds and the gaps between them. So this is a lovely shot that I'm very happy with. Probably a pretty fast interval as well, judging by the movement. Yeah, 4-second interval here. I would have said 3. But yeah, nice. That light hitting these clouds here in the back. Very pretty, very pretty. Ich spreche ein klein bisschen Deutsch, aber nicht viel. Yeah, that's about it. No, I'm kidding. I understand a lot of German if you speak slowly enough. And I did have 2 years or 3 years of German in high school, and you know, I'm European, so it's a bit of an overlap in languages there. Lovely structure coming over the city here with a potential banger. This was captured, I just remembered, we shot this on the GoPro as well. But the GoPro's, quality is kind of limited. And as the GoPro was shooting its 10-day time-lapse, I decided to set up the S1 as well, because looking at this scene, right? There's a gap on the horizon. We have a combination of low and high clouds, or low and mid clouds, and some thick, dense clouds, maybe rain coming out, and exactly right. There is some rain coming out, as you can see here. And that rain gets lit up by this glow, and the light and the color bounces around. But then in the distance, we had... Oh, why am I not zoomed in anymore? Jesus, Lightroom, honestly. What are you doing? The light got blocked. Oh, that's actually still very nice. Dang. That's much nicer than what I remembered. Whew! Very good. Very nice. Some lovely reflection in here as well. Beautiful. So obviously all this footage is going to go into Cloud Palace 2, which I'll probably start working on in a month or two. I think maybe 2 Cloud Palace videos a year is a good length of time to capture really stunning footage to combine into one edit. This is nice. Some like the city's already lit up, but there's still a lot of light here and that color bouncing around. We got some blue sky, we got some golden, yellow, orange glow still. Very nice. And then it went to night. What else do we have? Another sunset shot. Again, different cloud movements, different levels. Again, I'm amazed that I've got 37 people watching this, and then I can just talk about what I love most in the world, clouds. Don't tell Amelia. And that people enjoy this. So nice. And, okay, any guesses as to the interval for this one? I am going to bet that this is a 3-second interval. It's going to be raining soon. Henry. Yeah, it's looking pretty bland out there, I have to say. Peter Jan, who was watching earlier, maybe still is, told me about a I think a website or a Chrome browser app or something, a browser app that I can loop into OBS so I can show the camera or my screen into OBS. So I'm gonna try and set that up. I've been so manic the last little while with the rewrites of the books and prepping all that I haven't been able to set up the stream the way I want it. But there's been some improvements already. But yeah, multiple camera angles and buttons and dance breaks is all part of the plan. Anyways, I reckon a 3-second interval. Whoa, it's a 6-second interval. I'm judging that by the timing here. So these clouds are actually slower than I thought. Interesting. Zero clouds. Is Berlin usually low cloud? I mean, low cloud numbers? Because it's mainland Europe, like you would expect there to be enough moisture on the landscapes in the forests and stuff. Then again, I guess it's all agriculture. Love the glow on these buildings here. That's another time-lapse I want to do, is with the long lens, I need more dedicated time-lapse setups, is just shoot on this for 10 days straight and just show the reflections every day, shadows, movements, lights, elevators. There's an elevator in this building here, the cheese grater, that goes up and down and up and down, up and down constantly, 24/7. Hello, Paulson. But yeah, that would be a lovely, lovely shot. Nice turbulent clouds. Again, a good example, light getting blocked at the bottom here. There's a bit of glow there, and then you still have the higher clouds getting that late light, but got blocked as well. And then, ooh, some light or color appears here, hitting that edge of that cloud, which is nice. Moin Leute. My people? Drinking game. Every time you hear the word cloud. Knockout. Lovely glow in the sky. Also, I don't know why this building here, I don't know which building it is, but like it's got its lights on 24/7 on all these floors all the time. So this shot is what I was talking about earlier. It's a little bit out of focus, I think because of the cold, the temperature change, and the materials in the lenses kind of shift and make it out of focusy. What is Moin? Moin Moin. There are a lot of Germans in chat. How nice. It's German Fridays now. Freitag. Hallo, guten Tag. Oy. Okay. This I shot. I reckon this is the first motion control shot that we're reviewing on stream. Austria as well. Wait, so moin is hello in northern Germany? Israel, howdy. Okay, the Clear Outside app. I gotta check that. I know about windy.com, which gives you altitudes as well. My friend Rob uses that a lot. But I think maybe you said it last time as well. Okay, so in northern Germany you say moin to greet someone. That's good to know. Moin. Okay, couple things here. This is the other building that I've been shooting a time lapse of, a photo a day. This was shot on the Lumix 24-105 at 105mm. And this was shot on a SERP motion control Genie Mini 2. Wow, totally forgot what it was called. And the reason I shot it is because, as you can see, these bubbling up clouds just look so nice, but when you shoot in tight to shoot them, they pass by the frame really quickly. So I've been experimenting with long time lapses that track the speed and the direction of the cloud, so I can zoom in on just a sky bit and it's going to look super trippy. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Fucking birds though. Imagine a whole video where it's just like a slow pan across the sky. Oh, that's going to be fun. But you got to obviously judge the timing, because if the clouds are moving faster than your pan, then it doesn't work. So that's a work in progress. That's a long-term thing that I'm playing with as well. So very fun, very cool. Lovely clouds. And for the motion control, oh, hold on. First of all, the other building that I shoot every day, I am confusion. Where is it? Okay, this one. I assume this is a cladding thing as well. Every day, these platforms move height and position, and most of the time, like at night or in the morning, they're not there. And then I look at the building later on, and I'm like, where are these coming from? So I assume at the bottom they have these, things that lift up and down, and they're maybe working on cladding, which is maybe what they'll install on our building as well in the next couple of weeks. Who knows? But then there's a crane there, so maybe it's a new build and they're constructing it. I don't know. But yeah, these things, they appear and disappear at random, and it's pretty trippy. Yeah, these birds are wild. I've discovered that these birds, maybe it's in this shot, they love to chill on the top of this building, on this railing here, and they're just always there. For static time lapses, as you can see in my tutorial playlist, not an issue. Wrote that as a chapter in the book as well, but for moving time lapses, you can't do that. Fix the quick fixes. So that's pretty annoying. All right, this is also a shot, I believe, that was in the GoPro 10 day. This is the shard here. This building here is the shard. The shard looking building is the shard. This is, I think, that snowstorm or localized snow cluster that was dumping snow on the city. Oh, look at that. Just movement and rays. I'm not sure if this was a shot, but that looks good enough for sure. Wow. That's going to be nice in high res. This is a low res preview. Whoa, look at that. Andy, mate. Claps in the chat for Andy's travel blog. Andy, appreciate it. Here's to you. I do like putting out great content. I do my best very much. So yeah, claps in the chat for Andy. Andy, where are you these days? Are you not Texas, right? I just remember your photos from Texas Airport, I think, Dallas Airport. I don't know. I often get names and people mixed up because there's just so many people I kind of stay in touch with regularly via the internet, and it can be very hard to, to remember what everyone's up to. I feel like that's some more snow coming in here. Wow. Bit overblown. It's like the clouds are on fire in slow-mo, yeah. Okay, I think I then changed that shot. Yeah, okay, I changed my framing because I saw this bigger batch coming in. And look at that. How cool. Dallas, yeah. So yeah, I remember things. How are things over there, by the way? I've got a couple of friends in Austin, and Texas isn't doing so well right now, and it's just incredible to see, certain politicians do what politicians do, I guess. For those not aware, there's what do you call it? A snowstorm or a coldness happening in Texas that doesn't usually happen, and a lot of people are without power or water and all that. And look at these rays. Fantastic. And some more snow coming in. That's great. Yeah, Andy, sorry. I hope you're doing all right over there. And your friends and family as well, obviously. It's a rough spot right now. God, look at that. What a great little sequence. And then it bubbles up again here. Whoa, I'm glad I shot that. This is also, again, the first time that I'm reviewing all this. Everything is frozen and people are losing their minds. Supposed to be over freezing today, thankfully. That's good. It's not just the water pipes, though. It's also the electricity grid that's been privatized, I believe, and capitalism strikes again. Bit of a cock up there. But anyways, the movement of this appears to get sucked in forward. Like it falls from the top and then moves forward under the cloud. That's very interesting. Very cool. Time Warper fan, Jesse Kaufman in the house. Speaking of Time Warper, we gotta reveal the new hat soon, which isn't too different. This is a failed shot. We're at the time now where the sun is setting at the right spot for it to reflect in these buildings. And I thought we had a clear horizon, but we didn't really. And what did I shoot this on? The Canon in AV mode. Hat reveal. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it after this sequence. Why not? So you see how this could have been great with all that color hitting the buildings. Interesting little flickering of the light on there. What are they doing? Nice glow here. So this shot is... Oh yeah, this is the shot I was talking about earlier. Because of the cold, it was freezing then. This is the first frame. Sorry, the last frame. And let's compare the sharpness of these two shots. Wait, what? Oh, wrong button. Hello? Zoom? Lightroom. Why does it look like that? It's not supposed to look like that. Okay. Très sharp. Zeer scherp. I don't know how you say it. Heel scherp, we would say in Antwerp. And then the last frame, totally out of focus. Like not even close to being in focus. Because of the shrinking at different speeds of the metal and the glass inside the lens. So something to keep in mind if you are shooting in cold environments and you're taking your gear inside or outside. Sehr scharf. So yeah, those reflections are is another whole video or a project that I can talk about. All right. Hat reveal. How do we do a hat reveal? First of all, took 9 days because of Brexit. The mug we already talked about. This is the new Time Warper mug. Switch the framing. All right, I'm having some issues here. OBS has disappeared. Okay, it's back. I was like, am I no longer streaming? Bloody hell. So many issues today. I hope it's all still working. I hope you can still see me and all that. The mug has been launched on the newsletter this week. This is the new mug. This was the first mug. Some of you got it. Limited edition now. This is the new mug. Time Warper with the new logo and the new color gradient. Time Warper mug. It's like a metal coated in enamel. I don't know the material. But it's an old school style mug. You can literally, like, this won't break. You can grab a carabiner, attach it to your bag, whatever. This thing won't break. I love it. It's a fun mix of futurist design and old style, old school mug. Time warping, manipulating time, playing with time. That's what it's all about. Time warping isn't limited, by the way, to just time-lapse. Normal photography or videography is also manipulating time, capturing moments in time and, playing with them and manipulating them and showing people the world from a different point of view. So that's what time warping is all about. We now have the backing of the new logo that my dear friend Chopper made, who's usually in the chat, but I forgive him for not being here because Australia's got crazy times. The new logo. And I don't think I've actually properly talked about it. So it's in the shape of a mountain range. It's in the shape of an M. And this little lower bit is also a J. MJ for Matt Joe's, mountain for my travel and outdoorsy stuff. And I think it's one of the coolest things someone's ever gifted to me is out of nowhere, this really sick logo. And then some other people have helped me to make it into a better design, and I chose the font for this. So this mug has been launched. And now, drum rolls in chat for the new hat. What I'm wearing is the original hat. The reason I redid it is because a lot of people were like, your name's not on there. I want merch with your name on it. I'm the opposite. I don't love walking around like a billboard for someone, but people really wanted something on there. I didn't want to put my name on there. My ego's not that big, or my username, because I think that's just weird. So I decided to integrate the logo. So, after 10 days, all the way from Latvia, where this was made, apparently. The mugs come from Spain. This comes from Latvia. And by the way, I fixed the shipping issue, the horrendous shipping prices on Shopify. Here we have the official, love that drum roll, the very first reveal of the new Time Warper hat, which is almost exactly the same, but it's included the logo now at the behind the Time Warper. I'm waiting for it to appear on the stream. There we go. So it's embroidered. Is that focusing? Let's get that in focus. Hold on, let me change my view. So, can you see that? It's kind of like, it's a black on black logo, but the Time Warper is still there, and the positioning of the Time Warper is better now as well. And it's honestly, it's such a comfortable hat. I've got a lot of hats, definitely nothing to do with my thinning hair, but I've got a lot of hats, and this is my favorite style hat. It's a 5-panel classic hat, and it's quality. It's full. What's it made of? Cotton, 100% cotton, and then a nylon clasp. And I will, for the first time, drop it in the chat now. mattjoes.com/merch is where you can get the hat. Replace pinned, but let me set up a quick discount code in case you want to buy it, because I appreciate y'all being here on the stream. I wanted to do this earlier, but I forgot. So yeah, it's time to replace my current setup. How's my hair looking? But yeah, I'll drop y'all a bit of a discount. I don't make much money on these merch things, by the way. That's not the reason I made them. I make money with digital products like my course and ebooks and stuff. First time wearing the new one. Ooh, I've got quite a big head, so I gotta touch just that strap. Boom, first time wearing it. Stoked. Another stream premiere. But yeah, I don't make money off the merch, or not a lot, barely any. I wanted to be able to say that I have my own merch line. That's always been a dream, but I never knew what to do with it. Discount, let's call it stream percentage 10. Collections, merchandise, save. I'll pop it in the chat in a second. Stream 10, boom. Discount code created. Merch drop. Oh yeah, streaming 1080p. Matchos is a username that my late great grandma gave me as a kid. Matthews in Flemish. And I just adopted that as my username, Matthews. Matt Joes. A lot of people think it's my name, which it's not, which is the reason I have my intro on YouTube. But no one actually seems to still take that seriously. Hello, my name is Matthew Vandeputte. Time-lapse photographer living in London, blah, blah, blah. Let me drop a discount link here. No, that's all right. No need to apologize. The Matt Show's name is confusing for a lot of people, but that's fine. All right. This link that I just dropped in the chat, I'll pin it, has the discount applied to it automatically. Can't seem to pin it. Everything's going right today. I can't pin it. If you want the hat, you can check it out there. You get a discount code on all merch, 10%. The margins are already pretty bad on my end. But the reason I made merch is not for money. It's for being able to say that I have my own merch line and that people can buy it and show their support and show their passion for being a time warper or being part of the time-lapse community or the time warp community. It doesn't matter how you call it or what you say it is. I think, yeah, I've had a lot of fun designing this and making these and getting samples in and this and that. So it's very cool. We did a launch of the previous designs a couple of weeks ago and they're now no longer available. So if you bought one of those, well done, you have limited edition Time Warper merch, which is pretty cool. And we do like new friends indeed. Let me try something to pin that. So the code is stream10, and I'm trying to pin it at the top of the chat, but it's not letting me. Hold up. And you got to put in the code at the end of the checkout. .com/merch, use discount code stream10 at checkout. Boom. I think I'll be able to pin that comment. There we go. All right, so yeah, congratulations me for launching merch officially. This is the official launch of the new hat. The new mug's been launched already. Yeah, new hat's now here. It only arrived like 3 hours ago, which was pretty fun to see because I knew I could include it in the stream. So yeah, hope to see y'all walking around with a cool hat or drink out of a cool mug. I wanted to drink my beers out of this, and I might in a bit because I've got some fancy beers. Well, not really fancy beer, but somehow fancy beer. So, what else do we have now that we have the hat reveal out of the way? More time lapses, I guess. Yeah, we can stabilize the hyperlapses as well. But let's review the rest of these clips. This is a sunrise. Oh yeah, and then I've got a failed sunrise as well. Because when I set up a time lapse for a sunrise, and yes, I am thinking of shirts, but I have another thing that I want to put on there that's not Time Warper, but maybe I'll make it a Time Warper merch shirt as well. I didn't want to bombard the audience with an abundance of choice. I'm bad with choosing myself, and I often prefer to be just given one option as opposed to 7. So I was like, a mug and a hat. And if anybody wants to show their support to the Time Warper crew, or join the Time Warper crew, I guess, you can just get a mug or a hat, whichever you choose. T-shirts are, you know, different sizes and fits in unisex, male, female, like which brand you go for, which fit, V-neck, crew neck. So yeah, shirts will come, but we'll just keep it for hats and mugs for now. Now, when I set up a time lapse, let me go back to me editing screen. Okay, 1080p. Is the stream available in 1080p? Because I think it's still 720 in the back end here. That's another thing that needs to be improved. Eventually we'll have a 1080p stream properly. Meet in a Zoom call to drink beer. You can drink beer now. This is a perfect time to drink a beer. Free beers. Anyways, 720p stream, but we'll get that sorted soon. When I set up a time lapse for sunrise, I do it the night before, and I check the timing for the sunrise via this widget on my phone. Unless I have my watch on, then I'll check it on my watch. But there's a widget by Photopills, but it didn't update. So I misread the time of the sunrise, and I missed it by half an hour. I set it to 6:46, and it should have been at 6:16. So I missed all the nice light that happened before sunrise in the next shot, I think. That is later in here. Was it this one or another one? Yeah, this one. The shot started too late. It's still nice. Ken Tony bought a hat! Fucking sick! Claps for Ken. And Ken, you've got a surprise coming in your mailbox soon. If anyone's ever bought anything from my store, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, like lovely sunrise this, but I wish I'd started shooting it before he was already getting lit up like this. As you can see, my memory is ace. I nailed that. 6:47 was that shot. Yeah. But then, not too upset about it, because that's quite nice, actually. I totally forgot about how nice that looked. Lovely. And I'm sure I'll be getting some comments from the chemtrail conspiracists about the chemtrails. Sean's mid-order. Yeah. Do it again. Thanks, Henry. I really need to I really need to have a stream deck and a different way of making sure that I'm on the Lightroom screen or the main camera screen. I need more screens pretty much. Now I've got my laptop on my 32-inch here. Alright, reset. We are in Lightroom looking at a sunrise. I'll open up the chat again so I can keep an eye on that. Oh, beanies, eh? Thanks, Jamie, for letting me know. So many color badges in the chat, by the way. Oh, yeah. Speaking of badges. This can go. Oh. God, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. Speaking of badges. Click the join button to get your badge. I updated that as well. Call to action. Pew, pew, pew. Anywho's. This sunrise started at 6:47, where it should have started at 6:17, an hour before sunrise. But because I checked the wrong Information on my phone, I set it up at the wrong time. Oh god. Did I mess up my stream? I closed the streaming window. It didn't give me a warning. Oh shit. Have I lost my live? Oh no, I'm still live. How does that work? Am I still live? I don't even know how this works, man. Where's the back end? All right, give me 2 seconds to figure this out. Where is the dashboard for my live chat? View in live control room. Oh god. Did I just kill the stream or we're okay, the chat's gone. Okay, cool. All right, Henry, thanks for that. That's good to know. Okay, so now we need beanies and t-shirts. I'm not streaming on Twitch. I am thinking about streaming on Twitch, but that'll be different. That will be Mario Kart. Okay, I need to figure out where we are. Time-lapse. This is a lovely sunrise that you missed because I was still on the main camera. The merch chapter, t-shirts and beanies, I'll think about if enough people show interest, but for now it's going to be hats and mugs. But t-shirts and beanies are definitely on the cards with the same logo. If you would like to order a hat or a mug, the pinned comment has a discount code for you right now. And that's pretty much it. Now, going back to this sunrise, which is lovely. I forgot how lovely it was. Set it up at the wrong time, but still very nice. This is what it looked like. Just confirming I'm on the right screen. Very, very beautiful indeed. Get some nice sun coming through. Some birds. Not a huge issue, those birds. A sunrise sundog. I haven't seen that in a while. Talked about sundogs last stream as well. They're an optical atmospheric phenomenon, whatever you call it, doesn't matter. This bit of rainbow light here, it happens on the other side of the sun as well, and it's just the sun refracting through high altitude cloud ice crystals or whatever. So very cool little bit there. I've shot quite a few now since moving here. I would say maybe 5 or 6. So that's fun. That's something cool to add to the collection. How many I've shot those? Because before living here, I didn't have a permanent. Didn't have a permanent setup like I have now. Look at that light here. Just so cool. Like UFO much? So sweet. Oos. And then some lens flare. Interesting how that airplane trail splits up. Is that because light's not hitting it? Light's blocked from a cloud? And so we see it differently? Or, I don't know. Wow, look at that. These shadows moving here through the sky. So there's obviously a bit of haze in the sky, and that translates to light and shadows as well. Perfect X crossing here. Space X. But honestly, the amount of chemtrail conspiracy comments I get on YouTube with all my time lapses is wild. Second suns and everything. Anyways. Henry. You're a freaking legend. Henry started the Stream Deck Fund. How cool. Much appreciated, mate. Really, really appreciate that. that'll help for sure. That's beer money and Stream Deck money. And that's the biggest donation I've ever received on a live stream. So thank you for that. Very much appreciated. How do I keep track of special moments in my tons of time lapses? I have quite a good memory for my shots because I obsess on them, looking over them. And also I will eventually go through in batches and export all these master files. And then it's just simply scrolling through all these clips real quick in Final Cut to see if there's anything special in there. And usually, because I spend so much time editing them, when I'm the time lapses itself, when I'm then editing them in a software to make a compilation, I'll remember like, oh yeah, this shot had something cool happen there. But also what I do is once I have all the master files, I throw them, hello Stefan. When I have all the master files, I throw them in a timeline and I just play through the whole timeline, and I might mark cool moments and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I keep track of it all. I do need to figure out a better file management system currently. I don't have a proper big hard drive to work on. I've got maximum 2 terabytes on the solid states, which is what I edit on. And I've got some sequences or like collections of footage now that just go above and beyond the 2 terabytes. This is cute. Snowy rooftops from the snow. When was that? The 11th. So I shot a sunrise that morning. This was the morning before that epic sunrise that I missed because of an error. So this one didn't glitch out, but the next morning, or maybe it was the morning before, glitched out, which is a bummer. But look at that light coming through. Look at that sunlight. That's nice. Some rays, some fantastic, what do you call it? Cloud coming off this building. All these rays shooting through the atmosphere. Very cool. And so yeah, this is the 11th. We're currently 7 days later. Let's see where the sun's rising. Pretty, yeah, so like around here. And this morning we saw it rose like here already, so it really does move around quite a bit. This looks like a boring sunset. Oh, not too boring. Look at that. Looks like air pollution or something. Nice color variations. Just peeking out there. Very nice. And then a bit of a fizzle. This could have been epic if this gap was bigger and it hit the bottom of all these clouds. Now it kind of just hit a little bit of it. A bit of the side as well. Sean's been harassing me to do rotting fruit time lapses. I think we talked about this last time as well. If I can make a airtight, smell-proof box, we could do some moldy fruit time lapses. Good to see you, Sean. Lovely to hang. Sean should also be live streaming. She's a wonderful illustrator, artist from Sydney. Sean, you missed the merch launch, by the way. Got the new hat. Brand new hat. Very nice, very cool. I can't remember if we showed this shot already. I don't think we have. But that's looking quite nice. Lovely rays, lovely light, lovely cloud. Look at these rays on the side here. Quite dramatic. Quite dramatic indeed. And then you see everything get a bit brighter because the Lumix's exposure algorithm kind of... It's like, oh, it's getting a bit dark, and then it slowly ramps up the brightness. Oh, some nice glow here. This could have been epic if there was a slightly bigger gap. As you can see, it kind of like wants to really bang, but then it doesn't fully. And that's fine. Doesn't have to bang every night, does it? Good night, Sean. Bye-bye. And that's about it for these time lapses. Now I've got some more, and I've got a hyperlapse that I shot yesterday as well, and I was thinking of running you through how I stabilize a hyperlapse, which is something that is now also covered in my new book and upcoming course. But yeah, the stabilization process I think will be good. Where did I put it? I put it in here. Are you interested in seeing a hyperlapse stabilization process? Let me know in the chat. I think it's very interesting. I think it's... I mean, yeah, I love hyperlapses, so... There's a whole intro chapter about the history of hyperlapse and the first hyperlapse film made by... I forget his name. No. Oh, I can't come up. Yeah. Anyways, you'll have to read the book soon. Workspace, all panels. Yes, all right. Before we begin the hyperlapses, I'm gonna put y'all on my new, I'll call it "Be Right Back Getting Beer" screen, but it's actually my toilet break screen. So I'll be back in a second. Where is it? Back in town. All right. Yeah, we got Berlin Lapse in the house, who's big on the hypers, big on the hypers for sure. Next beer is one of my favorites. It's Leffe Blond. I like Leffe 9 graden as well, 9 degrees, but that's probably a bit too heavy. This is a 6.6, not too bad, and the San Miggy's are 5, so doing all right. Now, thanks for the compliments on the waiting screen. It's similar to my channel trailer on YouTube, but it is also an edit I made for my talk at VidCon 2 years ago, I think, where I use that as an introduction to my work, because to explain what I do, it's like, do time-lapse and hyperlapse, I speed up time. People don't get it unless you show them like that. But sadly, at that presentation, I just remembered it didn't play with sound, which was so sad. But now you get it, so, that's all right. Let's go back to the editing screen. I have not forgotten. And we'll open that beer in a sec, because I'm still on this one. So, a hyperlapse. You just saw some hyperlapses. A hyperlapse is a nice niche within a niche. You have photography, then you have time-lapse photography. In that, you have hyperlapse photography. The way I shoot my hyperlapses is like this. Click, 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 click. Because of time efficiency. Obviously, that's not great if you're shooting long exposures and this and that. But I can bang out a lot of hyperlapses in no time. I can do it almost while running. I've also been doing hyperlapses for a very long time, since before the word hyperlapse even existed. Mattia Bicchi was on the same forum. Mattia is a Madrid-based time-lapse photographer. We kind of were in a thread on, I think it's the Timescapes forum. We're like, what are we calling this new style of time-lapse? Which was made popular on Vimeo by the user Zweitzwei. Andreas, something Russian name. He went viral with a Singapore video, and then more people started doing it. But then at the time, it didn't really have a name yet. So hyperlapse now is, of course, incredibly popular. We got Harry Berlin, formerly known Harry Berlin, now Berlin Lapse, in the chat, who's been killing it in Germany, in Berlin, and there's so many people. And it's just such a nice niche, because if you know what goes into it, you appreciate everyone that makes one, because you just know the commitment and the time and the patience that comes with shooting hyperlapses. So do I always shoot with a lens cap on? Yeah, most of the time. The reason I shoot handheld, it's all explained in the book in the whole chapter, but it's just so much faster, and I am the same height. I don't change height between photos, so I'm kind of like a human tripod or a human monopod. So I know that it'll always be equally level, and then it's up to me to stay on the same path or the same track to shoot. Now, my friend Rutger, who is maybe the world's most famous festival photographer for EDM festivals, he is a Victorinox ambassador, and they have an installation in their flagship store in London, in Mayfair, I think the area is, where it's him with his camera next to two Victorinox cases, and it's got his name on the wall and stuff. But he only had a photo of it from someone's phone, so he asked me a while back, like, hey, can you go and maybe shoot a photo of that installation? I was like, hell yeah, dude. And I'm going to surprise him with a hyperlapse as well. Now, actually, the only thing I've done is offloaded onto my hard drive. This is generated automatically by post-haste. And in the offload folder, I just dump the cards. So this gets dragged in there. We'll add these folders. For a hyperlapse, I shoot RAW and JPEG photos at the same time so that I can use the JPEGs, because they're easier to stabilize. And at the same time, it's stabilizing behind the scenes. In Lightroom, you can color grade the RAW files, and then before you export the stabilized sequence, you can replace the JPEGs with the color graded RAW files so you retain the highest quality. Now we're just importing the photos into Lightroom, and that is 2 days ago sunsets, I think, that I forgot to remove off the card. Let's wait for these initial previews to be fetched, and we can just have a chat and I can finish this beer. So a GoPro, as Henry's mentioned, they're easy to plug into the wall, and with GoPro Labs, which is now available on the Hero 9 as well, you can generate shooting settings, shooting parameters. I made a video about it a while back. You can generate them from an app. It creates a QR code. You scan the QR code with the GoPro, and it dials in those settings. It's very cool. Henry's shown us that it's not 100% reliable all the time, but for a low effort rotting fruit shot, it might work really well. I've also been experimenting with the Atlee Eon for some plants time lapses, which we can talk about later as well. Now this camera, I feel quite double about. I think it's got a great use, but they hired me to promote it with a review video, and I started using it, and I was like, look, it's not a great fit for me. It doesn't have good Holy Grail performance. It's only 1080p. It's got limitations. But then so I told them, like, here's a big paper full of feedback to improve the thing. It's improved a lot since then. But I still wasn't entirely confident to promote it to my audience. So I said, look, I don't feel comfortable making a video, because if I'm going to be super honest about it, it's going to be quite brutal. And I've changed my mind about it now, because I've been using it for plant time lapses, and the battery life on this thing is fantastic, and it's got a macro mode. You can shoot 7 centimeters close up. So rotting fruit on these things that you can also just plug into USB-C and have it run, and you control it from your smartphone. It's good. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, am I going to make a video about these or not? It's also something that I want to do a giveaway with, because they're only like $100 or $150 or $200. So yeah, the Atlee Eon, I'm waiting to hear back from them. I think I've potentially upset them by wasting their time too much by flipping back and forth about making a video or not. But it's something I've been using now for plant time lapses, and that would be good for rotting fruit as well, because a GoPro's closest focusing distance, I'm not sure how close that is. To shoot fruit, you have to be quite close. You might have to get a lens adapter, like a little macro mount or something, to get that going on your GoPro. But yeah, the labs thing is a good tip to shoot long-term time lapses. You can even set it to shoot at a 30-minute interval for only certain hours a day, for example. That's pretty fun. Henry's been doing some experimenting with that lately. back to the editing screen and open the chat again. So the SERP Genie Mini, before I move on to the time lapses, I've got a Genie Mini 2 here, and I've got the old Genie Mini as well. I like them. I think the battery life could be better. I think the noise could be better, and there's a little bit of a, what do you call it? Like a little bit of play in the movement. But love the app, love the people behind it, love new features getting added. Super simple to use, easy to set up, good price point. Has these brackets as well. Which allows you to go, let's go back to the main screen before moving on to the hyperlapses. So, 2 Genie Minis, these 2 brackets, you just mount one like that, mount one like that, and one like that, and boom. Here I have a 2-axis motion control system. The bottom puck moves the camera like this, and the top one moves it like that, obviously with this bracket. So, you know, I don't know how much these are. I think they're less than $200 each, which is, you know, it's a bit of money, but it's doable, and you can use it with other stuff as well. You can mount it on other devices. I think, yeah. I like the Genie Minis. Yeah, that's kind of my opinion. I have to say I am biased. I've been working with SERP, not in a paid capacity, but just they've been sending me their stuff, and it's the only motion control stuff I have right now. So yeah, I really enjoy that, and I think they're cool people. They're Kiwis from New Zealand, and they're some of my favorite people. So yeah. I just realized you can see my microphone and also my inversion table. Maybe that's for a future stream once again. All right, let's go back to the editing screen and load the chat. Before we go back to the editing screen, I'm swapping around a lot. It's ASMR time. Should I drink out of this cup? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Why's that microphone all of a sudden here? To you, the viewer, appreciate the support. Appreciate everyone that's hanging around. Don't know how you do it, just listening to me for hours on end. No, I do know how you do it because I watch a lot of streamers myself. Maybe even too many streamers. Anyways, let's taste this beer. So Leffe Blonde is a Abbey beer. Abdabir. I was trying to figure out the name. It's made by monks or something, I guess. I don't know. It's not bad. It's pretty good. I forgot to do the sip on the mic. That's fresh. Very nice. Back to the editing screen for real now. So workflow, you should. Yeah, sorry. Okay, I should keep that in mind. Maybe a warning. Sorry about putting alcohol on there like that. That is my bad, and thanks for letting me know. Hyperlapses. I showed you how I shot them. Photo step, photo step. Let's just delete this out of the catalog because we're not using that. And let's have a look at what I shot yesterday with Pete Jobson. Intro sound for the next beer stream. I guess maybe I'll keep it low-key on the alcohol when it's not marketed as a beer stream. I don't know. I have to find the right balance. So, Rutger's installation. First of all, who's Rutger? Rutger.com is This guy has been shooting photos of nightlife, EDM, and festivals, etc. For what, like 30 years more? Absolute legend, award-winning, super cool dude. He's from Holland. He's got a book out. Did I buy that book? I feel like I bought that book and I don't have it yet. Anyways, doesn't matter. Look at these quotes. Number 1 EDM book. Martin Garrix, Ultra Music Festival, Hardwell, EDM.com. Insane body of work. Just look at these photos. Fantastic. And he is an ambassador for Victorinox. This is the flagship Victorinox store in Mayfair, which is a very expensive area in London, and it's here. And here we have Rutger in the storefront, made by us, loved by Rutger, in what I assume is his handwriting, and it's a little photo of him with his Victorinox cases. And yeah, so he didn't have a photo for his archive for it, so I went out yesterday for the first time I left the house in ages. To shoot some high-res pics of it. So the gear I brought was a 1635 wide angle, because I knew it might be, a nice little setup. So the wide angle, I brought a ND polarizer filter as well, and the SERP one to shoot some motion control time lapses, but I didn't have time for that. I shot a hyperlapse of it instead, so we'll be stabilizing those hyperlapses. Thanks for letting me know, Ken. It's just, I don't want to offend anyone or, trigger people by doing stuff on stream that can be triggering, so yeah, I'll find a balance. Maybe I'll just do a content warning next time I open a beer. Mute. So a hyperlapse of this store. Making folders in camera is something I usually do. On a Canon it's really simple. I got a shortcut. On the S1 I haven't shortcut it yet. So what I do instead is I do a test shot, I see what position I'm shooting from, which focal length, and then I shoot a frame like this. Put my hand in front of the lens to signal current me that this is where the shot starts. And this is where it ends. So I can now just shift click on that and create a folder in there. I'm not going to bother with the naming structure now, Hyper 1. And we'll do the same for Hyper 2. Just like that. Create folder in there. Hyper 2. And I'll just show you some of the photos. I was like, oh, nice little passerby. I also shot the handheld with IBIS on the S1 and the polarizer to help with the reflections in the glass, but it was just, these buildings were getting hit by light, so you can never really remove that amount of light hitting the glass like that. But I, gave it my all. Also, Pete, here he is. Pete Jobson, everyone. It's hard for me to shoot anything that's not a time lapse. People assume that just because you're good at shooting a certain style of photos that you're good at shooting other styles. I suck at shooting portraits, shooting people. I'm obviously good at landscapes because that's time lapse, but architecture, even just normal events, I'm like, don't ask me because I don't know how. It's like, I don't know, asking a ballet dancer that's in like the National Ballet Dance Squad to break dance. Or something like that. I don't know. So I did my best. I tried. I just shot some angles, and like a shot like this is pretty cool. I shot it really wide knowing that we can straighten it up. So let's quickly have a look at that using the transformation here at the bottom. If you hit auto, oh shit, that actually is not a horrible job. Before and after, pulls it up a little bit, but it's not perfect. And so I'll be removing that. And with the guided button here, we can do a little live editing sesh. If you just hit a wall like that, so click and hold apparently, to somewhere on the bottom here, just gonna go rough, and then a second guided, the right side of that pipe, 1, 2, boom. Straightens it, fucks it up real bad. Not sure why it pulled it just like that. Maybe the crop's still on? Yeah, the crop's still on, that's why. So that, makes it a travesty. No, if you keep playing with those lines and you add some horizontal ones as well, you can make this into a nice square one. It warps the top. So if you zoom in here, you'll notice that the image is way less quality compared to at the bottom, which has been warped less. Like there's more sharpness, less fringing, whereas in the top here you have more fringing, less sharpness, and you know, all these artifacts. But yeah, that transform option is very good. Before we move into the hyperlapses, I also shot this motion control shot. I was having a little drink with Pete on this square, and the sun is just behind here, as you can see by this shadow and this beam of light moving in. The sun moves in the northern hemisphere. It moves from, I don't know if this is going to translate for you guys, it moves from like this, right? From my point of view, if I see the sun here, the sun goes down like that, depending on where you are on the hemisphere as well. So I was like, oh sweet, the sun's going to come behind this building, it's going to light it all up, it's going to be nice, some lens flare, this and that. But I just missed it because, oops, that's slow if you play back and develop. You'll notice that it just went behind that chimney. Actually didn't realize I got a little bit of it. I thought I didn't get any of it. So yeah, I got a little bit of it. And I shot that on the SERP as a little panning shot. But yeah, we started too late, so that's not ideal. Now, what I want to do real quick, because I don't have much experience with the S1, with lifting shadows and stuff. Let's just do quick golden hour, contrast flat. I just want to boost these shadows a bunch and see what they look like. And up the saturation as well. Maybe a little bit less. Boop, boop. Highlight, like that. You can go up. And then what's the quality like, you know? Obviously there's a bit of fringing that we can remove as well, but noise and stuff, what did we shoot this on? ISO 80, pretty good. I mean, I'm not finished grading it yet. That needs more contrast, something like that. No, that's too much. Whoa. Anyways, you get the point. You can push back. You can pull back a lot from raw files, and this is quite nice. Quite impressed. Quite impressed with that. Look at that cloud that I didn't even see earlier. It's still there. Very cool. Anyways, I'm not talking about that shot right now. We are talking about these hyperlapses here. So I only shot a few frames, 53 and 57 frames, and straight out of camera they look like this. Bit wobbly. Who here has shot hyperlapses? Marina, hello! Oh, thank you so much for asking, and so good to see you in the chat. Marina is also a long-time follower. And I'm trying to remember where you're based, Marina. I can't remember, so drop it in the chat below. You missed the launch of the hat, by the way. Links up. You get a little discount. But, oh, that first frame shouldn't be there because I changed the orientation. I lost my train of thought here. So I'm moving that frame to the other folder. Oh yeah, so hyperlapse looks like this from the start. So is it only 51 frames? Yeah. As you can see, fairly accurate. Oh yeah, let me know in the chat if you have shot a hyperlapse before in the manual method or tripod, doesn't matter. I just want to know how many hyperlapses are here so I know, you know, who's going to be really interested in this workflow. Gran Canaria, wow, what a place. I've been there a couple times with my mom and my sister in Gran Canaria. We surfed there for a couple of holidays when I was younger. It's actually where I learned how to surf. Haven't been back since. Alan Wallace is always in the Canary Islands, on La Palma, I think, or one of the other ones. So, you know, this is not horrible, but it's shaky. I shot it at about 24mm. If you shoot wider than 24mm, you're going to have some really tricky fixes on the sides because the perspective of the image, you know, warps quite a lot. So if I show you this folder in the Finder, you'll see these files have the same name, but their extension is different. It's JPEG and RAW. That's the JPEG, that's the RAW file. They have the same pixels, the same resolution, everything. What we're going to do is we're going to sort this by kind, make a folder out of the JPEGs, call it that, and we're going to stabilize this JPEG folder because it's much easier to work with JPEGs than with RAW files. So I just drag that into After Effects, make a composition from that sequence. I double click that composition to make sure I'm in it. Now usually I right click that composition again, and then I work in the second composition. And the reason I do that is if I have to adjust anything in the source composition, I can do that in this first composition. I start stabilizing on the second, and then I'll stabilize again on the third. You don't have to do it like that, but it's just something I've been doing from the start. Like, I might want to paint something out in the first one. And the reason I separate that is because the warp stabilizer doesn't work well with other effects or other edits to a sequence. So you create a new composition, and then you go to the tracker panel, click the warp stabilizer button, change the smoothness to 10, and then we let it run. And then you get a little timer here next to initializing. It'll show us how long. It's only 51 frames. The computer might start struggling because I haven't streamed with After Effects open, and it takes up a lot of resources, so we'll see how this goes. Let's open the activity monitor as well, see how much we're punishing this computer. Memory wise, should be fine, despite After Effects being set to take up 40 gigabytes if it wants to. We don't seem to be using a ton. CPU wise, it's probably heavy. OBS is using a lot, that's interesting. And then there's always this like Adobe stuff happening in the back that I'm like, what are you doing? Adobe Analysis Server. Okay, so is this analyzing online? Surely not. I know Adobe Sensei, which is their machine learning, smart algorithm AI stuff, which they always demo at Adobe Max, works obviously from the cloud and is amazing. So maybe it's linked to that. That'd be cool. Adobe Sensei is truly insane. Hey, Chopper's in the house. Chopper, don't feel bad. You have plenty of things to do. I love the dabs. You missed the launch of the new hat, but you've seen it already, I guess. The old hat's quite similar. I just added my logo because so many people requested that. And we're drinking a Leffe beer out of the new mug, because why not? I love Henry always chiming in with the knowledge. So the analysis server is a separate software which does the actual analysis on the device. That's what I figured. So the Premiere has the warp stabilizer built in as well, but then it's like an external process that analyzes it. The thing that I don't like is that I have a beast of a laptop, yet 70-ish% of its resources aren't used. Like what? Like, please optimize. Please use this hardware that I have, which you're currently not doing at all, because there's so much chill space on this laptop as far as CPU resources go. Memory wise is pretty flat, mostly Lightroom. That's interesting. Also, I can't tell you how much I love that I'm seeing these little side chats happening in the chat. People like, hey, what's your Insta, this and that. It's really cool. Really loving the little community. How many of you use Discord, by the way? My friend Tom Carroll, he started a server, and it might be a good single, platform to combine the time lapse, time warp lovers, the time warpers, to make announcements and stuff aside of the newsletter. But I can't send newsletter blasts. Like, this will be for the core community crew, I guess, that's really keen on staying up to date and sending around edits and this and that. Might be good for a Discord server. My friend John Simo runs one in Canada. I always want to say Canada. In Canada, like the creator community or something. And they've got such a cool setup with the server, like badges and medallions, automated robot activities and all this stuff depending on your activity in the server. So yeah, I'm thinking of setting one up for that, but that's a bit long term now. It's because I don't use Discord that much myself that it's tricky to envision what I want to do on there. But it's something that's been on my mind for years now. So something I always do before reviewing, mostly with lengthy sequences. This is only 50 frames, so it's not an issue. Is when the analysis is done, just quickly hit Command S, so it saves all the information that it just analyzed. And now I hit Control and 0 to create a RAM preview, and we'll see the first run of the stabilization. It's not great. I can see already that there's quite a lot of wobble, but it's rare for a sequence to stabilize properly from the first run. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, there's actually a bit of flickering as well. Wondered what I was shooting on. Must not have been manual. So now I create a new composition from that first composition, and I just repeat the process. Hit the warp stabilizer again, 10%, let it analyze, have a chat, have a bevy. The stream has no thumbnail. How does that work? Thanks for letting me know. That's far from ideal, is it? I mean, I can see the thumbnail here. It says Time Warp Stream. And if I go to YouTube, let's have a quick look. No, I don't want to sign in. No. Oh shit, yeah, it doesn't have. Oh. That's so odd. If I so this is a private browser window. The thumbnail is here, but here it doesn't have a thumbnail. Great. Maybe that's why. An ad? No, thank you. I haven't gotten ads on YouTube in years now because I got YouTube Premium. Anyways, there's not much I can do about that, I think, right now, sadly. Let's just blame YouTube's crappy streaming platform. Twitch is so much better, but I kind of want to stick to YouTube because it's where I have an existing audience already, and it, you know, kind of works well. Hello, Frank Pauli Photography. Welcome to the stream. We're currently analyzing or stabilizing some hyperlapses I shot yesterday. Thank you, Sean, for stopping by. Oh, so the thumbnail thing is around. That's annoying. Sean, have a good one, mate. Happy weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Yeah, thumbnail issue is annoying. Honestly, if YouTube wants to be a serious streaming platform, it has a lot of work to do. Same with the stories. Like, stories apparently, you know, YouTube stories are great for spreading out to a potential new audience because it gives you a little recap of your videos were viewed by this many people and you got 3 new subscribers from it, for example. Anytime I want to post a story, the app crashes. So I can't post stories. Super annoying. The whole streaming setup is just like backwards as well. And then monetizing, which isn't a huge concern for me or a huge deal on this platform, but if you compare how you can monetize on Twitch with Prime memberships and donations and donation trains and all these things, gifting subs and this and that, and then YouTube like barely manages to get people to join the channel or to, you know, do a super chat donation. Many thanks, by the way, if you've done that. Love ya. But yeah, YouTube's got a lot of work to do because now Facebook Gaming is, you know, pushing their lives a lot, and I can tell that my live stream window is stuck, so I'm gonna refresh this page and hope I'm still live. Like, all of this shouldn't be part of the experience. It should be stress-free. God. Let me know in the chat if I'm still on. I don't know what's going on here. It's also funny that this whole mishap happens as I'm talking shit about YouTube's live streaming. Now I'm getting like, welcome to live chat. The lack of thumbnail brought you in because it stood out. That's not bad. That's all right. Little life hack, YouTube hack. How'd go viral. Don't use thumbnails. Anyways, all right, we're still live. That's good. Thanks for letting me know. All right, Frank Pauli, checking out the Hyperlapse tutorials. I actually have a playlist about Hyperlapse photography, about 10 videos in there, like how to shoot from a helicopter, which is the most niche thing I've ever made. You know, how to shoot handheld and on a gimbal and this and that. So this software has now stabilized for the second time. Just hit Command S to save it again. And let's just review the first stabilization run. So that's what that looked like. Bit wobbly on the edges here, like you can see that's not entirely smooth. The flickering we'll deal with later. Now let's see how this one has further stabilized it. I think adding these cars and the buses in the frame, which I thought would be a cool effect, didn't help with the stabilization process. So what you can do then is play with the smoothness. Let's add that or change it to 25, Control 0. Ooh, that's zoomed out a little bit. I was also, you know, pretty wide and very close to my subject, so any shift in positioning the lens or the camera results in a warp that, or a perspective shift that might not be fixable, which is very annoying. Just because we have the time for it, let's just run that warp stabilizer again, and then I'll show you how we can redo it from scratch in a different way, and then you apply the warp stabilizer. But the issue with this shot is definitely the fact that I'm so close to the subject on a wide angle, and that the perspective shift, yeah, just kind of messes up the stability of the shot, sadly. A relaxed critique, yeah, that's a good idea. I would probably do something like that only for channel members, purely because there's not much in that for other people, like when I do a public live stream. But yeah, submitting your work and having me review it and go over it and talk about what I think of it would be a great fit for a members exclusive live stream. So if you would like to encourage me to do that, you can click the join button, and for $1 a month you can get a badge next to your name, and we can start working on these critique streams or review streams. Thanks for that suggestion. That's pretty fun. Also, channel members get early access to all of my videos and access to polls and scripts and a bunch of stuff. Pretty fun. Anyway, it starts at $1, which is the lowest I could set it at. I think I make like 50 cents on that. But it's more about knowing like how many people are actually... Oh, there we are. Rob, welcome to the community. That's fantastic. Claps in the chat, everyone. Clap, clap, clap. Welcome, Rob. How good. I believe, David, that there is no difference between the warp stabilizer in Premiere or After Effects, because they both use the same stabilization algorithm behind the scenes, which is what we were just looking at earlier that Henry mentioned, is this Adobe Analysis server, which runs the whatever algorithm behind the software, which is pretty good. That's definitely a big bonus if you are, you know, looking to choose between two editing softwares, Premiere or Final Cut. Final Cut's built-in stabilizer. Wouldn't even call it a stabilizer. Whereas Premiere Pro has the After Effects and the round tripping to After Effects as well, which is super powerful. So all right, now that we've got like members reviews planned for future streams, I got to figure out the workflow for that stuff. All right, it's done analyzing. Hit save again, Control 0 again. See how that's improved it. It's a tricky shot. There's a moving flag in there as well, which doesn't help, and these buses and some flickering, which is so annoying. Where's my preview? Oh. So in this case, God, look at the difference in light there. Must have blocked the reflection from the window behind my right. That's blocked from this bus because it's not hitting this and this here. And why is there a light change here? Is that looks like an exposure change because it's pretty global. Anyways, let's restart. Let's put that in a folder, call it WS for Warp Stabilizer. Duplicate this sequence, make a new composition from it. And then what you could do, so that's straight out of camera, what we could do here is, instead of going with the warp stabilizer, DaVinci Resolve is part of my new ebook as far as time-lapse sequences go, but not editing yet. I'm planning a series on it, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. So I know there's like deflickering built in and all this other stuff, which is pretty damn cool. Chopper, yeah, I agree. Seeing all the badges in the chat makes my heart sing. Couldn't agree more. And once again, I am forever grateful to Chopper for surprising me with this logo that you can find on all the merch now. And it's my logo on my website. It's in the chat. It's the emotes, the badges. So cool. And Chopper just out of nowhere sent me that once. He was like, hey, he came up with the whole idea. Like, it looks like a mountain. It's outdoors. It's M and J, Matt Joe's. Forever in your depth. Anyways, stabilizing with not warp stabilizer, stabilize motion button. What the stabilize motion button does, let me try and explain this visually. You tell the software that it has to look at a certain set of pixels within a region. And for every photo, it's going to look for that set of pixels within that region you specify. It calculates how much that pixel has moved from its previous position. It knows how far it's moved because they're just pixels, and it does calculations. And then to stabilize it, it applies that transformation, so a change in position parameters like X and Y axis. It applies the opposite of that to the entire image. So that keeps one set of pixels in the same spot. And that is what this does. The way you set that up is in here, you click stabilize motion, you get one track point. Let's go with one track point to show you what that looks like. Got to zoom in. This little square is the set of pixels that it's going to look for. And this square, the bigger one, is the area in which it is going to look for those pixels. Now, I was aiming, where was I aiming? I had a custom, that's so great about the Lumixes, I found out yesterday. You can set up a custom grid. There's a vertical and a horizontal line, and you can set up a grid as opposed to 2/3. You can just put a pinpoint somewhere on the screen and keep that as your reference frame. I put it on his head, which may not have been a great idea. So let's go with this corner instead, because it's very contrasty. You need it to be visible throughout the whole sequence. So that's going to be fine. But yeah, if we use that corner, this set of pixels here should be so easy to recognize. The smaller your search area and your number of pixels, the faster it's going to analyze. It's not an issue here because it's only 51 frames. But what I could do, for example, is tell the software to stabilize this entire square. So let's run that. And now you could go, you hit this play button here, or you go frame by frame. Now, instead of going, if it's a complex sequence, I recommend you start in the middle instead. Because straight away, now I know that my little frame in which it's going to look for wasn't big enough if I'm just looking for that whole square, right? Because my distance to the thing has changed, and so it looks bigger on camera. So you can go in the middle, you analyze backwards, then you go back to that spot, you analyze forwards. But let's just run that, for example, and hit play and see what it does by itself. But ideally, I would analyze this corner, but I just want to kind of show what it does. And turns out it's not doing much. Actually, this is odd, because it should be boosting through that quite smoothly. Let's hit stop and change our tracking point. There's no one-stop shop solution for this kind of stabilization. Okay, if I just hit the forward button, it worked. So you see, I didn't do anything. If I hit forward again one frame, boom. If we zoom in on that, that's the center of this initial little square, right? And it's linked to that. If I go to the previous frame, it's put a little keyframe in this position parameter line. But if I just use the arrows to go forward and backwards, that won't work. So I have to use this button here and boom, boom. If I'll zoom out a bit. If I hit this play button, it should do a better job at analyzing. Sometimes this is a bit fast, and then boom, sometimes it messes up. So I go back. No, I said stop. I go back with the arrows on my keyboard, and as you can see, it totally messed up there. So what you do there is you just go back to where it started to mess up. So, and this is tedious, but this is how you can get some really accurate results. Because the warp stabilizer doesn't know what it's supposed to do, right? So the previous frame, I'll put on Keycaster again so you can figure out which buttons I'm pushing. Let's put that there. Okay, this frame, let me just check if all is good here. I'm now using the page up and down arrows on my keyboard, right? So, and it's weird that they don't show up. Come on, mate. Oh, the software doesn't work. This one's wrong. So I will just drag this frame to where it should be. And if you then hit this next frame, it starts to reanalyze it, or it should. The previous frame's wrong, yeah. So go back to where it was correct, and then drag it in, next frame, drag it in, and then you see how it adjusts that keyframe? And that's where it was writing in. So one frame forward, nope. Manually, I'm just going through it now. And this is a rough stabilization. I'm just kind of getting the position right. Again, it's a short sequence. It's only 51 frames, I think. Harry, what's the longest hyperlapse you've done in Berlin? I know you've done some crazy ones. Like that sunrise you posted today. You can be, you know, you don't have to be super accurate here. Because after this stabilization's done, we can apply the warp stabilizer, or we can reapply a stabilization like this, or we can use 2 tracking points. You can combine methods. Like, how did it get there? Drag it there. Manually adjust. If I was to do this with the raw files, this would take forever because it would have to load the raw file visually each time for every frame. And that just takes a super long time. This is where it might be problematic because the background's changed to his shirt now, so it might confuse the stabilizer. So let's just manually adjust that. Also, the area that I'm looking in is really quite large because we started off with a different size to analyze. Philip, Holy Grail time lapses, as you will read in my new book, I believe we should call them something else now because they're no longer very challenging. If your camera doesn't shoot them properly, there's now software. Whoa, look at that blur. There's now software that can help you with processing. But most modern cameras have some form of Holy Grail built in. So I posed the question in my new book, should we still call it a Holy Grail shot? Okay, so we're done stabilizing. This thing is in the right position roughly for each frame. If I now hit apply dimensions X and Y, both these axes will get applied so it's in the same spot. If you only apply X or Y, it'll only position it on one of these axes, right? So that might be useful for other types of shots where you're going around something, but your height doesn't really matter. Oh, there goes the camera. Battery, pit stop. And we are back already. So you wanna see you, mate. See you, Harry. You need to apply X and Y. Boop. And then, as you can see, this track point has keyframes, and the transform anchor point has keyframes as well. So it's changed the anchor points for each frame. Now, let's see what that's done. If I hold my mouse on that little corner here, you'll notice how that is exactly in the same position, right? Like that spot barely moves. What does move is the rotation of each photo, because I only used one point, and you can't stabilize rotation from one point. You need 2 points, so it knows how these points are moving. So when I started, you could choose for 2 points and then stabilize your rotation as well. Now what I want to do, this shot is fairly, steady. Now let's apply the warp stabilizer on top of this shot. So new composition from that. Let's fit that here. And now let's try the warp stabilizer. Because now it's this stabilization algorithm starts to work on a base, on a sequence that's already much more stable than the previous shot, right? So this might lead to much better results than what we saw in the previous stabilization run. Does that make sense? Let's plug this battery in. Ooh, that is hot. That's going slow. The stats for the live audience, with I think the thumbnail really kind of does mess it up, and there's huge peaks and troughs from when it restarted and stuff. So yeah, not ideal. Got to work on that. Got to work on the live setup. And I still think my computer's on some BS, because this shouldn't take that long for 50 frames. Maybe it's because I've got so much other stuff open. I don't know. Whoa. That's not supposed to happen at all. That probably ruined the stabilization. Happy days with Apple computers. I mean, it's not an Apple thing. It would have happened on any computer probably. Maybe I need a dedicated streaming PC. What else was on my list? Oh yeah, the plants time lapses. Another live review, because I haven't checked that myself yet. But let's finish this stabilization run, and then we can talk about plants, talk about my books. We can try and make a composite of that helicopter flying over the city as well. I've added a lot of bonus chapters to the new book, like editing techniques, time-lapse editing techniques, which I think is pretty fun. Consists of a lot of what is shown on my channel already, but in a more easy to follow and condensed manner. Let's go. All right. I feel like that cropped a lot. Quite a lot. Oh, that's because I didn't change it to 10% yet. This is why you stabilize in multiple runs in smaller percentages as opposed to one run in a big percentage, because the smoothness here is too much. So change that to 10% and you'll see it zoom out. Much less of an impact on the crop than before. Control 0 to generate a preview. It's not perfect yet. Didn't expect it to be, but it's better than the first warp stabilizer run, I think. Oh, there's a bit of a wobble there. It's better than that first run, pretty sure. And then let's run the stab on there again. Boop, 10%. That's 0%. float. 10%. There we go. You can also adjust like these framing methods. Synthesize edges is cool. If you lose a lot of your side, it'll look for elements in your previous and your next shot to make up what it's missing in that frame and stuff. It's pretty cool. The warp stabilizer has come a long, long way from when it launched. Years and years ago. That sounds like a challenging shoot on that GH4 indeed. But I think the GH4 has the built-in exposure leveling mode that you have on the newer ones as well. I don't think it only started on the GH5. So if you're shooting a Holy Grail next time, obviously you can't do much about the cold and the wind, but shooting in aperture priority mode with auto ISO, and you can limit your ISO max for your auto settings to like 1600 or 800 or whatever's doable on that camera, you can just have it run by itself. I assume it's in the GH4. It's not on the FZ82, that exposure leveling that makes a smooth transition. But all the time lapses that we review on this channel, I mostly shoot on the Lumix system, and all the Holy Grails, all the sunsets and sunrises, they're automatically flicker free and smooth. So, like, yeah, it's so simple to shoot a Holy Grail now. Well, like if you go manual shooting and manually adjusting everything, that's going to be just, yeah, such a ball ache. Plus with the planned or scheduled shooting, you could just set it up to start shooting an hour before sunrise, so you don't have to get up for sunrise. If you have a view, obviously. So yeah, a lot of my early career was sitting around waiting for the stabilizer. And also I didn't optimize that workflow yet at the time. So there was a lot of stupid stuff in hindsight that I did that slowed or made it much less efficient. Whereas now it's good. Also helps if you shoot properly, if you know how to shoot, if you know how to not shoot. For example, you know, the wide lenses and your shots as well. Like if there's flags, if there's more flags, it'll be really tricky to stabilize. Still a little warp there. We can keep working on it. There's other ways to stabilize it, but I think this wobble is because of the wide angle and the perspective shift, and it'll be tricky to get that to work better. There's one more sequence I shot that I just want to have a quick look at, which was straight on. So we'll just import that, make a folder out of that, drag this JPEG sequence in here, make a new comp, and we'll just use the warp stabilizer real quick. Voila. And while that runs, I'm gonna run to the loot. Hey Todd, how you mate? Thank you Rob for joining. Have a good weekend, and thanks for becoming a member. Much appreciated. Right, I'll put the BRB screen back on because you seem to enjoy it. How's the timing on that? Almost done on that stabilizing. Francesco, g'day mate. Buonasera. Good to see you here. Hope your work was good. Thanks for tuning in. All the way from Italy. God, this takes forever. What is wrong with this setup? I'm still keen to try the new Mac M1 chips, like a Mac Mini, but I don't think the After Effects stuff stabilized for it yet, optimized for it yet, so probably won't have too much of an impact. So I didn't talk about the wind yet. The wind is, even on wide angles, I've had issues with wind here, and I've locked stuff down. Like, stuff is almost literally bolted to my heavy duty metal railing, and it still causes these micro vibrations in the footage. So I don't even want to know what it's like in at the Baltic Sea. That sounds pretty intense. Stabilization for that is doable if you're working with fast shutter speeds, but obviously if you have a blurry shot because of wind when it's on a long exposure, there's really not much you can do about that. So fast shutter speeds and then stabilizing afterwards using similar methods to what we're doing now would be a good tip, or shoot in non-windy conditions, but I assume that's not really an option. It's the photographers, travelers, time-lapsers, forever issue. Pack in the right amount of gear, stability. Like, all my tripods are carbon fiber, but then sometimes you need a heavier one because of weight, but then you can't travel with them, so. Potato, all that. All right, quick preview of this first run. I just did a straightforward shot. That looks pretty good for a first run. I had Pete looking out for cars and stuff and buses. I must have had actually on these shots I think I had auto ISO on, which is why we have exposure flickering. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Not a bad first stabilizer run. We could run that through some deflickering plugins, which I'll try, but I want to get it a bit more stable first. Warp again, boom boom, click. Yeah, the Micro Four Thirds sensor is an issue with low light. People are like, they're lightweight for travel and this and that, and like, I just really love full frames because of the size of the pixels and the amount of light it can use. So yeah, I don't know, like sometimes you just can't do certain things because you're limited by software, or hardware. I really love that building. It's got really cool colors and stripes, and then these little windows at the top here as well. Very nice. Alright, we're going to finish this hyperlapse and then we're going to review the plant footage. I was like, oh, did I restart that plant footage? I think I did. And the cool thing about it is you can see it, because it's a vine type plant, so they're constantly looking for something to grab onto. So their motion when they're growing is like this rotating movement, which is cool. I've been shooting it for 2 days now. Governor Bandeputte, thank you so much for tuning in. I will most definitely see you next week. I intend to stream every week, starting today, I guess. Did I stream last week? Was that 2 weeks before that I had to not to stream? I don't know. Yeah, Friday's probably my favorite stream day, because I'll work hard in the week to finish my work, and then I can kind of like have fun on stream, and then I can stop the stream and relax and watch the sunset. Actually, speaking of sunset, it's looking alright. Looks pretty similar to what we've had on stream earlier. And then the weekend. And look, there's nothing going on the weekend because we're still in lockdown in London. There's really not much to do around here. David, good luck with the drone hyperlapse. So David Yateman, who's out now to shoot day 8 out of 10, has been shooting some drone hyperlapses. Same spot, I assume, same shot. Really excited to see that come to life, hopefully. I've had some previews on the stories. Well, I smashed that beer. I should have gotten a new beer when I just used the lure. Thank you. Is it Gonzalo? Gonzalo? Not sure how to say it, but thanks for tuning in. Lovely to see you all here. Gosh, we're doing a 3-hour stream again. That's fantastic. God, this is taking a while. How hot's the lappy at the moment? 70 degrees. It must be OBS and Chrome. I was intending to use Safari to stream this time, but I just didn't get around to testing it. Like, at when did the stream start? 2 p.m. At 1:58, I was still exporting like the badges and stuff for the top of the screen. Very, very rushed start today. That looks really good. There's no wobble at the sides. Also, let's do a quick story. If you're in the chat, say hi. I'm about to film the chat. We can talk. We can do that. We are live, baby. For now, this is the new mug. I have just gone through my stabilization process for some hyperlapses, and we've got some familiar faces in the chat, as per usual. Very nice. Very fun. Also, I'm loving loving this setup. Lovely. Yeah, it's always Instagram. Oh shit, I'm gonna do that again. You get to see me in action. New mug, hype. Hype. I'm live right now. I am doing a tutorial or like an overview of how I stabilize stuff, and we've got some viewers in the chat. We have some familiar faces and names. Very cool. Very nice to see everyone. And the setup behind the scenes looks like this, which is nice. Cool. Got that out of the way. I'll upload that afterwards. So yeah, this shot looks nice. What did I see here? H.264. Yeah. Do you reckon an eGPU would work better for all this kind of stuff? I'm not, like, I know a fair amount about computers and this and that, but the finer technical details of encoding and coding live in GPUs versus CPU stuff, I'm not hugely knowledgeable about that. 7th of March in Germany, lockdown. Oh, dang. That's still another little while. I mean, it's not too bad. Oh, look at all these people saying hi. I love it. All right. So, just for shits and giggles, let's see what the flicker free plugin does with that little flicker jump, because there's one exposure here where this bus made the image slightly darker, so the rest of the shot was made brighter to compensate for that. I shot on auto ISO because of moving closer to this window, and I knew I could deflicker it or manually change the exposure afterwards anyway. But yeah, I wanted this exposure to be visible at the end because that was the whole point, right? So new composition has been made. In the effects window, we have a couple of Flickr plugins actually. GBD Flickr 4 is from Granite-based software. I bought that recently as an upgrade to GBD Flickr 3. Oh, license not activated. Maybe I didn't buy it. Pretty sure I did though. Anyways, let's click Analyze. Dang, maybe I'll have to turn to PC then. And that's the frame here that was brighter than the other ones. So that should be applied automatically. Let's just save in the meantime. And it's changed it just a tad. Much less visible. Now I've got another deflicker plugin, so let's remove GBD Flickr 4. I've got the old Flickr free. I'm not sure if I got the new version. Let's put that on there. And this one works a bit faster. You don't have to analyze stuff. It kind of does it on the go. Didn't really do a good job, did it? Sometimes Ooh, no, that looks horrible. Sometimes that works better. No, that didn't do a good job at all. It's the beauty of time-lapse. You can just keep playing with stuff. Anyways, I'm not going to spend much time on that. I want to look at the plant footage now. How much luck is involved? Hey, my mom is in the chat. Crystal Cornelissen. Dag, ma'am. Yellow Badge Gang, what up? Philip, how much luck is involved to get a good time lapse, like being at the right place at the right time? Well, it's a bit of a numbers game. So like with where we live, I can shoot all the time, so I have a lot of really good footage. Otherwise, you can really increase your odds by knowing how the weather works and how your environment works. So you can predict good sunsets or sunrises using what I teach in my ebook or my videos on YouTube. But I'd say most of like great time lapses come to be because people decide to put in the time and energy to head out time and time again, or have a plan specifically. Like look at astrophotographers. Like when I went to Utah, we planned my trip to Utah around the new moon, so we would get the darkest skies to get the best Milky Way shots, right? If you're a beginner, you might not be aware of all these extra things that you have to take into account to get really good footage or really special or unique footage. So you might go and try and shoot the Milky Way without realizing that you need a new moon phase or a period around the new moon so that the starlight doesn't get drawn out by the moon, stuff like that. So I think the more experienced, the more knowledgeable you are, the easier it is to get really good footage, obviously. But you can fast track that by doing the research, shooting yourself and getting your own experience, but also learning from other people. And I'm very happy that my new ebook, which is launching soon, has literally everything I know about time-lapse in it. What is it? 76 chapters. Very exciting. I'll do a separate video about that. I don't want to spam it in this one. This one's all about the hats. But yeah, it is exciting. Anyways, not the point now. The point now is the plants. And I think I offloaded that folder in here. Let's kill After Effects. Weather might be more predictable than you think in Germany. Don't be... like I thought London weather was very unpredictable, and I've gotten much better at it now. Skip this time. So the Atlee Eon is the name of that little camera. And I dumped some footage in here today, I think. Ooh, that's a 3-minute clip. That's good. Okay, well we can just fast forward that. We can open the Final Cut, so we can speed ramp and stuff or adjust the speeds. How many times have I shot the same location? Well, in Sydney, I had Kirribilli waterfront, which looks out at the city. It's across from the city. It's got benches. There's a bottle shop nearby. So me and Sam Yeldon, who was mentioned in the chat earlier, we just get a 6-pack of beers and a packet of crisps, and we would shoot the same stuff every Friday, post work, same shot. Every Friday for like a year. It was fantastic. And I don't care if the subject's the same, because it's not really... The subject of a time-lapse isn't the buildings or whatever, it's what's happening above. It's the light and the clouds and all that movement. And that's always different. So, yeah. That's kind of the way I see it, I guess. These two clips, let's drag them in here. Let's use automatic settings. Dub. Alright. So this is shot on this little camera. No screen, pretty decent battery, SD card, USB-C, manual focus lens. Not the sharpest for landscapes and cityscapes, but I've come to really enjoy it for these little niche types of shots. So this is a 2-day shot, about 48 hours long, I think. The camera's been moved and it's not ideal and the lighting hasn't been controlled and all that. But what you can see is the reason I started shooting it is because of this little leaf here is a new one. It's at the edge of one of these many branches, I guess. And you can just kind of see it move very slowly. And that was a camera move because I plugged the cable in. And I have these fairy lights that I installed in these plants. because I love the way that looks. But yeah, look at this little leaf moving around very slowly. And this, oh, that was a corrupted frame. This leaf hasn't been unfurled yet. Whoa, what is that? I wonder if that's issues with the photos or with the video file that has been generated internally. Anyways, we're back. And you can see BTS is buffering. I don't know if I'm still live. YouTube's just been tricky today. I'm gonna assume that we're still live. I just want things to work properly. It's so annoying. Alright, it's back. So there was a little jump there because I think the battery died or something. I plugged in another camera. This is more of a close-up shot. The camera is probably about 25 centimeters. You can see rain hitting the window and evaporating. Oh, it froze. Interesting. Anyways, here we have that motion of that leaf kind of going down and then it moves up again, and over the next few days I assume we'll see this leaf unfurl. Okay, so this is interesting. And props. Oh no, there is a lot of flickering, kind of. The flickering isn't as distracting as I thought it would be. Far from it actually, which is pretty cool. So we can see part cloud outside. The cityscape that we're familiar with is on this bit here. Yeah, you can just kind of slowly see that new leaf move around. Very cool. And then when the sun hit in one of the shots, I don't know if it's in this shot or the next one, all the leaves kind of fade and then pop back up. This is nighttime. This is when I'm playing Mario Kart. And that's when I go to bed. Some city lights hitting it. I feel like this is a little drop of water here at the end. Very noisy footage, this. Not ideal. But I mean, it is in the dark. The only light here is light pollution, city lights. And then that leaf moves the other way. And that definitely looks like a little bit of water on there. And daytime. I missed that sunrise, so I'm just going to rewind. Boom. So this is shot at a 30-second interval. Wow, look at that shot. Oh my gosh, that is cool. See what I mean about the leaves going down when the sun was hitting it, and then they go up again. What is that? I love time-lapse so much. Why does that happen? Someone explain. Is it moisture evaporating because there's light hitting it and more heat, and so the physiology of these leaves changes? What's going on? Why does that change like that? That is so cool. Oh. So this is probably like 2 hours in a few seconds. And we'll speed it up in a bit. There's some more rain on the window. And there's that leaf going off again. And you see it's becoming slowly unfurled. That was tonight's sunset. Wow. And this is only a few hours ago now. So what I think I'll do is I'll put a little one of these lights on. This is my fill light that I've got on the other side of my face. But I've got an extra one of these. So I'll put that on that plant with a little GoPro suction clamp. And I'll just film that over like the span of a week to see what happens to it, because I think that's fascinating. Now, let's speed this sucker up. Let's go X4. Let's remove the previous clip. Or not, let's keep it. And render those. Chat hasn't moved in a while. Are we still here? Please. Oops, wrong screen. Back to Final Cut. So this is the same clip, but 4 times faster. And you see that motion here. It's pretty cool. Cool, thank you, Philip. Oh yeah, all that corrupt footage, leaves moving, and that's when I changed shots. That's when Amelia touched the plant. She keeps moving the plants around. I was like, babe, please. Fucking don't touch the plant. She's like, I forgot. Oh. Very cool, this movement. Little water droplet, refracting light. You can almost see it get longer here as well. I really love that sunrise shadow. And that's reflected light coming off the window behind us. I feel like that's a lot of change in 48 hours. Wow, look at that leaf. That's much more expanded than I thought. Also, the leaf is like this big in real life, by the way. It's very small. Alright, let's pump it up a notch. Let's just go to 20x. Bup, bup, bup. Select all. Letting that render. Grabbing another beer real quick. Oh, don't play yet. You get the fancy waiting screen again. Boop. Nail the timing again, also pushed the wrong button, but you know what it is. All good. We are back on the San Miggies. I'm keeping the left as a special beers. They're also a bit heavier. I don't want to get too smashed on stream. Content warning, trigger, alcohol. ASMR. What do you do in your free time, Matt? Oh, I have beers on camera. Bunch of people watch me from all over the world, have beers, talk shit. Alright, let's go back to the editing setup. Hey Sean, you didn't miss much. We're talking plants now, we're doing plant time lapses. And we're at 20x speed for a little... Does anyone know the name of this plant, by the way? I used to know it, but no, I forget. We're looking at this little leaf here, which is a fresh baby leaf that's unfurling. We call them unfurlibars. And that's what it looks like in 24 hours. Or 48 hours, the total clip. But far out, that's cool. That is very cool. Oh god, I need more cameras. The other leaves are not as active as I thought. Besides the sunset sunrise movement, I expected them to move a little bit more. It's kind of interesting. In the other shot, you kind of see them move more at the top, but yeah, I was expecting much more movement on the other leaves. They must kind of like lock in position once they're matured or something. Like this area here. Look, this needs to run for at least a week, I reckon, before it becomes something that I can like share as an Instagram reel or whatever. Speaking of reels, I still have to post a reel today. We're at day 35 reels. Still losing followers, so don't let anyone tell you that if you just smash out a bunch of reels, you'll get more followers. I am planning on doing a reaction stream, like critiquing members and stuff. But mostly for now, as we talked about earlier, I'll be doing a members exclusive live stream for that stuff, where the members can, submit their time lapses. You can become a member for $1 a month. What is that per day? Nothing. For nothing a day, you can become a member to the channel by clicking the join button, which is why I have the disclaimer up there. You get early access to all the videos and stuff as well, but yeah. That's definitely, yeah, I think that's the way forward, is members only reacts and live streams on your footage. And yeah, I love giving people feedback. It might be harsh if you think you're good and you're actually bad. I will not hold back on giving feedback. But you know, art, I mean, time-lapse is art, and that's subjective, so to each their own, really. I gotta have a quick look, see what else I got, because what are these time lapses? Oh yeah, that's the same camera, but like just the sharpness is a bit off. Bit of rain hitting it. Sharpness was a bit off, and also like odd flickering and the odd exposure. Yeah, exposure pumping, white balance changes. But fantastic battery life. And I mean, what's this white balance here? Like that's pretty green, right? Bit of barrel distortion. I love these cranes here. Just not great for cityscapes or landscape, but for the plant stuff, might be a good little camera. So keep you all posted on that development. Let's have a quick look. See what else I've got. The SERP one. Oh no, we already talked about that. Oh yeah, I shot a Holy Grail on my 62 because I needed some new stuff to reference in the book for the Holy Grail chapter. So I shot a manual Holy Grail, which I hadn't done in a while. Heartleaf philodendron, maybe. $1, yes, $1 per month. Gets you a membership badge. Look at all these cool badges in the chat. Yellow, orange, green. Love it. This is LR Time-lapse, and this is the Holy Grail I shot. Pretty boring sunset, sadly, but it worked. You know, it did enough to illustrate what it does. And then I color graded it with my presets, and that's what that looked like. Hello, Texas. I hope you are warm and safe. I've been following the situation there, and it's pretty dire. I got a couple of friends in Austin and some other areas as well, and it's concerning to see how the government hasn't been governing over there, or not governing properly. If you've joined in late, I launched the new hat today officially. First official launch of this hat. We had a soft launch of a previous model, but this is now Matt Joe's merch. You get a discount code in the pinned comment. Get access right now. This is that Holy Grail I shot. Deflickered already. It's not a full Holy Grail. As you can see, oh, you can't see it. The exposure curve was still kind of changing, but a good enough day to night shot on the 6D2. Bit of light hitting it. Nice little color grade. Yeah, I don't have any other footage, I think, to show for today. Let me have a look, see what else I got. SERP Micro. Oh yeah, the star filters. Still need to make a video about that. 100 daily reels. Beer stream. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any future video IDs? I'll swap to... gonna wind down slowly. I'll swap to the main camera, and you can let me know if you have any video suggestions. I'll literally write them down right now. If there's anything specific you want to see, I'll add it to my list of things to make. Oh yeah, I didn't get around to that. Rico, good question. Oh, that's good to hear, Michael. I'm glad the sun is melting the ice. It was pretty freaking scary over there. Let's go back to where's my window? What? Okay, weird. So, to go back, nope, that's the wrong folder. To the hyperlapses real quick, because I realized I didn't get there. We stabilized these hyperlapses, the JPEG sequences. We also have the raw files behind the scenes. Now just imagine for a second that the raw files have been color graded and the metadata has been saved in Lightroom, right? So this shot, let's make that preview again. This is made up of the JPEG files. If I keep double clicking on these sequences, I'll end up for this sequence here. And if I show that in Finder, that is indeed this folder, which contains nothing but JPEGs. I don't want to work with the JPEGs. I want to work with these raw files that I shot alongside. Very simple. Once it's all stabilized and you're good to render it, you right click on the JPEG sequence, you replace that footage with a new file, and then you literally just navigate to the correct sequence. So this folder here is what we stabilized, but we're now going to replace it with the raw sequence. So you make sure this is a camera raw sequence, click that, and now you will see this whole sequence reloads. It's changed its name to a RW2. It's got more flat and stuff. And now if I want to RAM preview it, or build a preview, it takes ages because every frame now has to be calculated out of the raw data to give you this preview. And that is how you replace the JPEG sequence with the raw. Also something I teach in my new upcoming ebook. And yeah, just like that. And now I'll hit Control Command M and add that to the render queue. And voila, it renders a video file from a raw sequence, and you don't lose any quality, or barely any quality. So, good to see you again. Fijne vrijdag, of Lomse vrijdag. We're drinking, we're drinking San Miguel's, but we had some leffe earlier. I don't ever export videos from Lightroom and LR Timelapse. I always use After Effects because it allows me to batch process sequences, and I'll add a bunch to the render queue, or I can queue them in After Effects Media Composer. Adobe Media Encoder. Oh, I'm losing my train of thought. AME, Adobe Media Encoder. This one here. With this button, you can load your render queue into AME, which will now launch if I click it properly. Or maybe it won't. Oh no, there it is. It'll load with those settings and stuff, so that's good to batch. Dark skies in the UK, we're probably looking at Wales. Let's open up Dark Sky. And I've been meaning to head to Wales for a while now. Dark Sky map. I've been using this map for my ebook because I can screenshot and credit. Okay, so I grew up in Belgium. As you can see, Belgium's pretty fucked when it comes to light pollution. This is a light pollution map. It uses a bunch of satellite data to compose this visual. It's made by, I forget his name, Uri Star, I don't know how to say his name. But yeah, Brussels is where I went to school. Antwerp is my hometown. The port of Antwerp's massive. All of this is super, super bright. Barely any stars visible, just like London. If we have a quick look here, London's actually worse because obviously it's a much bigger city. But zoom out and you can find, hold on, let me change this viewing here. You can find some pretty dark-ish skies on this bit here. Let me increase that size a bit. So Wales, I've never been to Wales, but I'd love to go. And Brecon Beacons National Park is an official dark sky site, or dark sky reserve. As you can see, there's almost no light pollution around there. So that is where you get great images. For example, these by Alan Wallace. Just so nice. But the Milky Way is upside down for me, because I know it from Australia, which is on the other side of the world, so everything is upside down, which is pretty funny. Whoa, look at that. Cracking. So yeah, not ideal. In Belgium, you can go to the southern part of the country on the border of Germany as well. Around this area, there are parts where you can see the Milky Way and can shoot it. But, I mean, you know, let's not kid ourselves. Let's go on a journey. Let's take a little trip to my other country. Hello, you dark, beautiful thing. Australia has some of the darkest skies in the world. This is Sydney here. We got Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth, the most isolated major city in the world. And I mean, yeah, literally in Sydney, you can see the Milky Way. Sydney's quite a dark city. You can see the Milky Way on this cliff here. I've shot photos of it right there. You can go up a little bit. I shot the Milky Way from where is it? DY Manly. From here as well. Up from Avalon, actually, this bit here. That's where the famous Aussie beach show is filmed. I forget the name. Home and Away or something. But like, just drive, man. Just drive. I shot, where's Orange? My scale's a bit off. Portland, Bathurst, oh, it's way past there. Parkes. Parkes has the Parkes telescope, which in 1969 delivered the footage, the live stream feed from the moon landing when the planet was on the other side or turned around. So the Americans couldn't get the feed. The sky, the dish in orange received all the... Not this dish. Received all the footage. This dish. Massive, 70 meters in diameter. Lovely, lovely telescope, radio telescope. And I shot a video of it over a couple nights, and it got me a short list, got me into the finals of the David Mellon Astrophotography Awards in 2014. Pretty cool. I'll link it in the chat if you want to have a look. I think, I'm not sure if I play this now that you'll get the audio, but yeah. Very fun project for me personally. And you're familiar now with the movement of the sun. You'll notice the sun move in the other way in Australia. Instead of going middle to right, it goes middle to left. That's the dish here. Milky Way. We call it the emu because this resembles the body of an emu, which comes from Indigenous Australians, First Nations people there. Vortex star trails. Ooh, that's a tutorial I can add to my ebook as well, or maybe the video course. But yeah, that's one of my favorite videos I've made because that was just like a passion project. I want to go shoot this dish. Very cool. Wow, look at that. Very nice. So Blackmagic, I emailed them yesterday. I got an intro to them a year ago. In April we were chatting and I emailed them and they're like, oh, let's pick this up next week. And then we never did because a pandemic hit. We just never got around to chatting. But we picked up the convo. I've got a call with them next week. I was like, hey, I'd love to shoot some time lapses on the new Pocket 6K camera. So hopefully that's happening within the next couple of weeks. And then I'll let you know what it's like to shoot on a Blackmagic. I'm pretty sure it's going to be sweet if you can shoot raw files and this and that. I don't know if they've got like a holy grail mode or exposure leveling built in, but that's the purpose of the video, right? And yeah, hoping to get a stream deck as well. A while back in that initial intro over a year ago, they they're like, well, oh, what can we get you? Can we get you any panels or this or that? And I was like, I don't even know all the products you have on offer, but I'm sure I can use them. I'm not streaming right now, so you know. Got to start streaming first, but now that we're streaming, I might get an A10 Mini. Joe Allen's got a sick streaming setup. If you don't know Joe Allen, he's a cool travel photographer from London as well, and he's kind of gone hard on the streams this year. Does a lot of Adobe stuff as well, and he's got the whole live stream setup now. This is Adobe Media Encoder that I talked about earlier. So in After Effects, if you have a big queue, if you hit render, you can't work in After Effects anymore. But if you hit add to the queue in AME, Media Encoder will render instead. You just got to adjust your settings and you can keep using After Effects, but likely that render will take up all your computer's resources, so it'll just kind of bog it all down and slow things down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Any other questions in the chat? Oh, the R5, I asked... Yeah, I'm doing a presentation with SERP about the Genie 1 and the Genie Micro for CVP. End of March, I believe. Had a chat yesterday or 2 days ago. And I asked them if they have an R5 that I could borrow to create some content with. And they said maybe. So maybe CVP will become sort of a contributor to the channel, as in I've been looking for a store that can help me out to loan me gear that I can make videos about, as opposed to getting gear from a brand where there's always a bit of an issue with, you know, bias, I guess. It's tricky. You want to be, I'm always as unbiased as I can be, but you also have to protect brand relationships and stuff, so tricky. Anywho's, back to the main screen. Yeah, I don't really have much else to show. How long have we been streaming? 3.5 hours. Claps for everyone that's in the chat right now. This is the longest stream that I've ever done, so cheers to you. Time-lapse mode in the Blackmagic cameras. Yeah, that's what we'll find out. Like, they might have some basic time-lapse modes built in, but unlikely to be a Holy Grail mode. But then it's a great opportunity to provide feedback on, you know, how to make that better. Oh, YouTube Space London's closing? What? I did not know that. Dang, that's sad. I met some cool people there. Pete Jobson and I became friends there for the first time. And I met Tyler Babin there. Chopper and I hung out there last time VidCon was on here in 2019. Dang. That is sad. Damn. That really, that was a good little hub to hang out and meet people when the world's normal, I guess. The Ursa, yeah. The cool thing with those, like, yeah, if you can shoot raw video, but at a sequential, like, interval frames as opposed to recording video non-stop, because that drains your memory and battery life, etc. Yeah. Anywho's, yeah, 3.5 hour stream. They keep getting longer. I got some friends, well, I mean, people I know, I call them like internet friends, and they do like 8-hour streams. I guess when you're gaming, it's different, and they've got a whole setup, and they've been doing it for years. For me, it's still different. I can definitely feel my lower back now. I'm gonna hang in my inversion table for a bit after this. Oh, that's so sad that they're closing the YouTube Spaces. Such a good idea, and like we know they've got the funds. So for context, if you don't know what a YouTube Space is, it's mostly around the Google offices globally in the major cities like LA, London, Paris, I think, UAE possibly. It's a space where creators can go and rent a studio and equipment for free if they have a certain threshold of followers to create content. And there's seasonal stuff, and there were pop-up YouTube Spaces in Sydney where I met some amazing people as well. And yeah, it's sad to hear that they're closing. I'll do a 24-hour stream for sure one day. That's what those guys have done as well, and then they raise, you know, like millions of dollars, which is awesome. Chopper, actually, I don't know if he's still around, was part last weekend of the I forget the name of the stream, but they raised $2.5 million or more for charity with a live stream that went on for, I don't know, 24 or 48 hours. Really, really cool. Hey, Caroline, enjoy your lunch. And yes, Marina, I miss the pool a lot. Luckily, there's finally some light at the end of the tunnel. I think the cases are getting better. We're dropping down. COVID cases here in the UK or London area has gone down. It was like 80% less cases. So I'm really hoping that the pool opens up again soon so I can start getting a bit more fit again, because I've definitely been less fit since the pool closed. I enjoy running, but it's not good for my back or my knees. I don't have a bicycle, and I just love swimming so much. It's like meditation almost. But yeah, then they close it, even though it's outdoors and it's been proven to block COVID from spreading because of all the chlorine. What are you going to do about it? UK government, it's not like they've done well at all in the last year and a bit. 24-hour stream. So also, I want to do a live sunset shoot and like hang out at sunset. And we do need the stream deck for that, but I'm glad I have this powerful laptop so I can maybe have like a mobile, filming setup. I'll hook in a GoPro. Maybe we can do some wireless shooting as well. But it would be nice to take you with me for a sunset or a sunrise shoot. I just like the live aspect. I like hanging out with people. Also, I want to make more content for YouTube. If I film a video and have to edit it, there's all that extra work. Whereas if I film a live, don't have to edit anything. Just let it sit there. And it's super long and the watch time's good and we have super chat donations and people becoming members. Timothy, my brother's in the chat. Everybody tell Timo to become a channel member. Timo, hit the join button. Kom gest, niet flauw doen. Timo, become a member of the channel so you get a badge. Mom's in the chat. She's got a badge. Timo, where's your badge? Timo, buy a hat. Click the join button. Bit of context. Timothy, my older brother, used to be, the one holding the main controller for gaming when we were younger. He would have I would be the smaller sibling watching, he would be gaming. Now, I've become so good at Mario Kart, and he's such a loser. I'm kidding. Timo, become a member now. Timo, click the button. But yeah, Timo started playing Mario Kart. I need him to get the online Mario Kart version so I can beat him now, because I know he's gonna overtake me just like he probably did in Zelda a while ago. It's the only time in my life probably that I can be better at a game than he is. So Timo needs to get the Mario Kart free trial or the Nintendo online 7-day trial, which I activated yesterday because I played with Sean and Rocket in Sydney, which was fun. And also that's another members thing. I'll be opening up Mario Kart online play. I'll share my friend code with the members. Allez Timo, it's not working. PayPal. I really want to play Mario Kart N64 as well. I mentioned this a couple streams ago as well. There's a YouTube channel called Summoning Salt. I'll pop it in the chat. If you want to watch some Summoning Salt, some videos that you don't think you would enjoy because it sounds boring, and then you want to have your mind blown by humanity, watch Summoning Salt videos. He makes these mini documentaries about the history of the world record speedrun for Mario Kart N64, for example, or this one-track record, like someone had to do a specific move or a specific setup 24,000 times in a row. He did 24 or 26,000 tries to get the world record, well, not even the world record, he annihilated the world record to get the shortcut 3 times in a row, because it's 1 in a 40 chance to get it, and then he did it 3 times in a row. So I showed it to Amelia last weekend. I'm happy to say that at the end of that video she was like, that was so good, that was so fascinating to see this history of a speedrun of a Mario Kart track. Give it a shot. It's Friday. Sit down, watch it. It's 30 minutes long. It's Choco Mountain speedrun world record. It's fascinating. Yeah, Summoning Salt. It's just insane. Anyways, Timo, become a member. Yes, go. Nah, I'm kidding. Or am I? Anywho's, my back's starting to really hurt, so I think it's time to call it. Grab a hat if you haven't already. Brand new hat. Become a member if you haven't. But you know what? Just thank you so much for being here. I really love doing streams and we'll be doing many more. And I'm going to keep fine-tuning this setup and work with some different hardware. And I'll be using Peter Jen's intel or info to upgrade the stream, because he's all about that stream life and the OBS tips. And yeah, hopefully a live sunset shoot soon where we can hang out and watch the view. I can show you the view and I can switch camera angles and this and that. But for now, I would like to thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great weekend. I hope you've had a great week. And I will see you very soon. I've got another video coming out, and if I don't have a video coming out, you'll see me back here in about a week. So I'm gonna switch to the end screen so everybody can say goodbye. Drop your Instagram handles in the chat if you want to hang out with each other and, make some international friends. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. Cheers to you. Cheers to the weekend. Thanks for all the donations, Henry. Thank you for the Elgato Stream Deck Fund. Thanks for the beer money. Thanks for the new members. And I'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye.